Chapter 184. A drop in the bucket. Luo Feng slightly nodded and sighed. No, you won't understand. Li Wei shook his head. Without experiencing life and death struggles, you won't be able to understand. The feelings of my generation. Luo Feng froze. Li Wei sighed. I was born in the most beautiful time of my life. The year I was born was 1997, when Hong Kong returned to China. My family wasn't rich, but was fairly well off. I grew up carefree. I played online games and read web novels. Every day, my parents would scold me a bit, and I would get really annoyed. Luo Feng looked at Li Wei with shock. Games, web novels? In this day and age, most students spend their free time in the dojo. Becoming a fighter is the goal of young people. Don't look at me like that. You haven't experienced those peaceful times, so you can't imagine. Li Wei let out a smile. His eyes had a bit of reminiscence in them. Back then, we would still chat on the forums. We could have meals together and go on outings. It was truly carefree. But 2015, it started in January of 2015. We instantly fell from heaven to hell. That year, I was preparing to take my college entrance exams. But there was no college entrance exams. A nightmare descended. The virus spread through the air to the entire world. Anything that needs to breathe was infected. My friends around me died one by one. My girlfriend, my basketball buddies, my neighbors, and my brother from the online game guilds all died one by one. I almost broke down at that time. I felt like it was a nightmare. Sadly, I found out later on that it was just the beginning of the nightmare. In the second half of 2015, countless mutated monsters started attacking the cities where humans gathered. From the small skirmishes at the beginning to the crazy war later on, we didn't care about these barbaric monsters and thought that they wouldn't be able to withstand a single hit from the humans. But we were wrong. The true disaster began. The cities were breached and humans began to flee. In the 6 years of fleeing, I brushed shoulders with the god of death time and time again. Every time I struggled, failure meant death, so I had to endure it. From a naive youth who hasn't experienced any setbacks, I became a merciless warrior. Li Wei's voice was low. In these 6 years, I watched as my father died for me. I watched my girlfriend, who I loved while I was fleeing for my life, die in the mouths of monsters, and I could only grit my teeth and run for my life in tears. I trained hard again and again, squeezing out all the energy in my body. In the end, humans relied on laser cannons and powerful martial artists to fight against the monsters on land. And so, the Grand Nirvana period ended. Humans entered the base city era, and I am joining the army. In the blink of an eye, over 30 years have passed. Li Wei smiled casually, but Luo Feng felt that his smile contained too much bitterness. Over the past 30-something years, the war between humans and monsters might not be as big as during the Grand Nirvana, but it has never stopped. Li Wei shook his head. Do you know how many people have died in the army under my command in these 30 years? Luo Feng was stunned. Waves of new people replacing the old. I can't even tell the exact number myself. Death notices were sent to their families one by one. They all died for the sake of humanity. Li Wei's eyes were filled with sorrow. However, I was powerless to find out. Every year, when the monsters in the ocean attack, some new types of monsters will appear. Some even more powerful monsters will appear. What does that mean? Li Wei stared at Luo Feng. It means that the sea monsters are constantly getting stronger. I'm scared. I'm very scared. Li Wei's eyes were filled with tears. Humans can't attack. The monsters can continuously mutate and get stronger in the ocean. I'm afraid that one day, humanity will be destroyed. Luo Feng's heart shook. However, if the sea monsters want to attack humanity, they have to go through the rivers and kill their way into the land. So, my entire life, I'll stop them. I won't let them easily advance even an inch. The further they are, the more space the headquarters city has. Ever since I became the commander of the Southeast Sector, a whole 11 years, 6 months, and 3 days have passed. The sea monsters haven't been able to advance a single step along the Huangpu River. Luo Feng's heart shook as he listened. He started to truly respect this elder in front of him. Because of their sacrifice, he and other young people can peacefully grow up in the headquarters city. In this life, I'll fight these sea monsters with everything I have. I just want my children and grandchildren to have a future and hope," said Lido Wei softly. "There's a future and hope?" "Yeah. If the headquarters city is conquered, will there still be hope for your children and grandchildren?" Luo Feng. Lido Wei lightly patted Luo Feng's shoulder. In this day and age, humanity can only rely on two trump cards to survive. One is the high-tech laser cannon. The other is a powerful fighter like Hong. If humanity wants to survive, one is to invent a weapon that's even more powerful than a laser cannon. The other is for powerful fighters like Hong and Thunder God to appear, and even for powerful fighters that surpass Hong and Thunder God. Lido Wei looked at Luo Feng. "Luo Feng, no one taught me when I was young, so I went down the wrong path. Now that I'm an intermediate-level war god, I've reached my limit. I have no hope of improving anymore. You're different. You're not even 20 years old yet. Luo Feng, an existence surpassing the war god level, is comparable to an army of 1,000,000. And Hong and Thunder God are even more powerful and incomparably powerful. For humanity to be able to live so peacefully in headquarters cities, it's all thanks to Hong. Even Hong can negotiate with the countless monsters on land, the emperor-level monsters. So, one Hong is more useful than an entire country's army. I hope that you can reach that step, or even higher." As he watched Luo Feng leave on his auto jet, Commander Lido Wei's expression was complicated as he muttered, "I'm already old, and Luo Feng, you still have endless possibilities." The words that Lido Wei said to Luo Feng when he sent him off on the Huangpu River made waves in Luo Feng's heart. The main reason why Luo Feng trained so hard in the past was for his parents and for his brother to stand up again. Ever since he became an invincible war god, even though Luo Feng was still working hard, he didn't feel much pressure in his heart anymore. Enemy Liao, he's long been disregarded. His family? They're doing well. Money? Money doesn't mean much to him anymore. Power and status? Even the heads of the financial groups, the military, and the big shots of the government are all extremely passionate. "Dad, Mom, Mingyue sector." Luo Feng just walked into his home. "You're back. I prepared breakfast for you," Mom Chin yelled his father, who was reading a book. "Your brother is running outside. After his leg healed, he likes to run." His father smiled happily. "Oh yeah, little Feng, when are you planning on getting married?" "Your mom and I don't have any other plans right now. We just want a big grandson." Luo Feng sat in front of the dining table. As he drank the steaming hot porridge and listened to his father's nagging, he suddenly felt very happy. In that base, the soldiers fight with their lives on the line, while the residents of the headquarters city live peacefully. Perhaps this is why Commander Lido Wei and countless soldiers are fighting with their lives on the line. "Hey, one." As he sat on the floor of the training hall, Luo Feng laughed as he held his cell phone. "What? You took your girlfriend on a vacation this summer? You sure are romantic." "Yup, okay, but I don't have time for a while. I still have to go out at the end of the month. I'll come find you later." "Yup, that's all, bye-bye." Luo Feng's face was full of smiles. Wen's life isn't bad either. His parents' lives are also very happy, and his brother and his girlfriend are in love. Luo Feng thought back to Commander Lido Wei's words. "I just want my children and grandchildren to have a future, to have hope. A future, to have hope." Luo Feng mumbled, "I also want my mom and dad to enjoy their old age. I also want my brother to marry and have children, to raise his own children to adulthood. I don't want all of this to be destroyed by the monster hordes. I want my children and grandchildren to have a future, to have hope." At this moment, Luo Feng's heart was unprecedentedly resolute. "I also want to pursue the limits of life and continuously surpass myself, to become a representative, to become a chairman, and even become stronger than them, to continuously surpass myself. I also want to be like Hong, to use my own strength to shock the land monster hordes. I also want my children and grandchildren to have a future, to have hope." Luo Feng's eyes were filled with determination. "Work hard, advance, surpass. When I die and close my eyes, I don't want to regret my past lack of effort. This time's baptism made Luo Feng's faith firmer than ever. For the entire month of September, Luo Feng completely immersed himself in his blade technique, body fitness level, and celestial deity catalog training. This kind of immersion not only didn't make him feel bored, but instead made him feel joy from the bottom of his heart. His body's genes transformed and perfected. His strength improved again and again. This change in his body's quality was intoxicating. Normally, if you force yourself to train, the results will be worse. And he himself enjoyed training and fell in love with the feeling of his quality of life increasing. This caused Luo Feng's speed of improvement to be extremely shocking. On the morning of September 29th, when Luo Feng tested himself, his fist strength actually reached 258,103 kilograms, surpassing 256,000 kilograms, officially stepping into the advanced level War God fitness level. September 29th, around 2 p.m., he wore an SS-grade blood red battle uniform that he bought at the best price from the Palace of War Gods and carried an SS-grade ghost blade on his back. Luo Feng's entire body was like a crystal-clear jade. He stood there like a blade that pierced through the sky, filled with endless fighting spirit. "Mom, Dad, it's hard to decide how long I'll be gone this time. Luo Hua, take good care of Mom and Dad when I'm not home." "Got it, brother. Be careful when you're outside," his parents hastily reminded him. Luo Feng slightly smiled and walked towards the auto jet beside him. The hatch of the jet automatically opened. Luo Feng entered and the hatch closed. "Who?" The dark blue triangular fighter quickly ascended and flew out of Jiangnan Headquarters City's defense system area. Then, it turned into a stream of light and headed towards the dojo of Limit's World Headquarters. P.S. That's the first chapter. This chapter was very important. It was also a transformation of Luo Feng's soul. Chapter 185. Hongming Headquarters City. The dojo of Limit's World Headquarters was a gigantic, ancient spaceship-like structure. A dark blue triangular fighter jet slowly landed on the tarmac beside the gigantic spaceship. Inside the auto jet, "I can't use the Black God set in the archaeological ruin, so I can only leave it here." Luo Feng extended his right hand. Soon enough, a black membrane gathered on his right hand and formed a black glove. "I still need to remove control. As long as the Black God set absorbs its owner's blood, it will mutate and become extremely compatible with the owner's body, just like skin. It can change and even hide under the skin. However, there's a flaw. Once it's on the body, it's very hard to leave. There are two ways to leave the body. First, the owner dies. Second, actively control the Black God set and force out the absorbed blood. The Black God set will then automatically leave the body. Now, let the Black God set leave the body. I'll have to let it suck blood again later." Luo Feng smiled helplessly. After a while, the black glove fell onto the seat of the auto jet. Number 1. Put away the Black God set. Luo Feng then left the auto jet. Inside the gigantic spaceship, right after Luo Feng arrived, he was welcomed into a resting room. There were a few dozen seats in the spacious resting room. There were already 6 people inside. From their appearances, Luo Feng could tell with a glance that one of them was a man and a woman. One of them, who was sitting with his eyes closed, should be an Indian. As for the other 3, 2 of them were black and one of them was a blonde, curly-haired white man. "Hello, Luo Feng. I'm Toby Yin from Kyoto Headquarters City." The Chinese man walked over and introduced, "From what I know, out of the 8 people who set off this time, only you and I are from China." "Oh, Miss Lee, who was talking to me just now, is from Hongming Headquarters City." Oh, Luo Feng slightly nodded. After saying a few words, he sat on the side and started meditating. He was preparing to enter the archaeological ruin. Soon enough, the 8th member arrived. All the war gods from the dojo of Limits heading to archaeological ruin number 9 were here. "Everyone, please follow me." Under the lead of a man wearing a loose red robe, Luo Feng and the other war gods from all over the world arrived at a quiet room made of strange purple wood. The purple wood that made up the quiet room wasn't any type of purple wood that Luo Feng and the others had seen before. Not only did it have a strange fragrance, but it also made people feel unprecedentedly calm and focused. The black-clothed man stood in the study, his back facing Luo Feng and his group. "Master!" Luo Feng and the others all bowed. Only then did the black-clothed man turn around. His gaze swept across Luo Feng's group as he said coldly, "Even though archaeological ruin number 9 is one of the less dangerous ruins, the death rate is still very high. If any of you are regretting it now and want to withdraw, you can say it now. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets once we enter the ruins." Everyone was silent. "Very good," the man in black said indifferently. "Yao Rao, come in." The sound traveled. Shua. A blurry figure condensed outside the door. It was a mysterious woman wearing a black robe and a golden mask. Her long, black hair draped over her shoulders. Because the mask covered her face, only her eyes, nose, and mouth could be seen. However, just that alone was enough to determine that she was definitely a peerless beauty. Especially that pair of eyes. It was as if they could steal one's soul. "She's a mixed breed." Luo Feng deduced this based on the mysterious woman's eyes. Yao Rao, one of the 3 royal guards. No wonder she's called Yao Rao. The 3 royal guards are the most loyal subordinates of head Hong. Because they had been following Hong for a long time, the 3 of them were slightly stronger than the average strength of the 5 patrol envoys. "The 8 of you will head towards archaeological ruin number 9 in a bit. Yao Rao will lead," commanded the black-clothed man. "Yes." Everyone complied. "Luo Feng, stay. Everyone else can leave," commanded the black-clothed man. Soon enough, only Luo Feng and the black-clothed man, Hong, were left in the quiet room. The black-clothed man said indifferently, "Luo Feng, you asked about the archaeological ruin through the internal phone? You don't want to go?" Head Luo Feng slightly bowed. "I did call and ask. At that time, I thought that entering the archaeological ruin and risking my life is just to get a black god set. The risk and the reward aren't worth it. So I was a bit hesitant. You change your mind?" The black-clothed man looked towards Luo Feng with a bit of shock. Yeah, Luo Feng nodded. "The path of pursuing the limits of life is filled with difficulties. Of course, I have to go against the current. A normal person can get into a car accident while walking. A falling vase can hit your head in the sector. Nothing is 100% safe. I chose this path, so I have to have the courage to fight. If it's 100% safe, then there's no point in challenging it. Only with some danger can my blood boil and fill me with fighting spirit. And they said that the success rate is over 80%, so what do I have to fear?" Luo Feng's eyes were bright. The black-clothed man looked and nodded to himself. This young man in front of him has great talent. But to achieve great things, talent alone isn't enough. This young man, compared to the first time he saw him, clearly has an unrelenting fighting spirit. It's a fighting spirit that can't be bent by a hammer and can't be stopped by a torrent. If you want to truly break through the limits of life and become the strongest fighter on Earth, you have to have a fighting spirit that no one can stop. Very good. I just want to tell you, of the advanced level spirit readers that entered archaeological ruin number 9, some failed, but no one died, said the black-clothed man. Luo Feng's heart slightly moved, so that's how it is. No wonder Hong let him go back then. He seemed pretty confident. Of course, there aren't many advanced level spirit readers to begin with. There aren't enough examples, so we can't be 100% safe, said the black-clothed man. Go meet up with them. Yes, Director Luo Feng immediately left. Who? The universe-level auto jet was flying through the air at an astonishing speed. Inside the cabin were the Royal Guard Allure and the 8 war gods. You can just call me Representative. Allure's voice was very soothing to listen to and made people's hearts itch. Our destination this time is archaeological ruin number 9. This archaeological ruin number 9 is located in the depths of the Amazon jungle in South America. It's one of the less dangerous archaeological ruins. Suddenly, the white man asked curiously, Representative, are there other archaeological ruins? Of course. No one could see the detailed expression on Allure's face, but they could see that the corner of her mouth was slightly raised. I can tell you one. Archaeological ruin number 1 is the earliest archaeological ruin found on Earth. It's located in the depths of the sea around Bermuda in the North Atlantic of Earth, including Luo Fong. Everyone couldn't help but to be shocked. Archaeological ruin number 1? The earliest? However, right now, the entire Earth has no way of entering archaeological ruin number 1. Allure's voice was a bit evil. No matter how powerful a fighter or how tough a metal weapon, they'll be destroyed the moment they step through the entrance. Luo Fong and the others were speechless. Not a single human on Earth had been able to step into the entrance of archaeological ruin number 1. Even Hong and Thunder God can't enter. It seems that even SS-grade materials, or even tougher materials, will be destroyed once they enter. Don't even think about this place. I'll just focus on training first, thought Luo Fong to himself. Everyone, listen carefully. I'll only say it once. Allure's voice became slightly louder. Archaeological ruin number 9 is a relic that was used in ancient times to select and eliminate people. After you guys enter, fighters will usually follow the tunnel into the depths of the ruins, and spirit readers will be arranged to follow the B tunnel into the depths of the ruins. After Allure said this, everyone pricked up their ears and listened carefully. It seems like spirit reader masters and martial artists were treated differently inside. After entering the depths of the archaeological ruin, everyone's experience isn't the same. The difficulty is also different. However, the person who succeeds will receive the ruin's reward, a black god said. The loser will either die or be crippled. Allure suddenly stood up and faced the control panel of the universe-level auto jet. Password: archaeological ruin hashtag 9-inch beep. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 8 red beams of light shot out from the auto jet and directly shot towards the tactical communications watches on Luo Fong and the other war god's wrists. Everyone was confused. Don't be nervous. The corner of Allure's mouth slightly curled up, as if she was smiling. There's a language in archaeological ruin number 9. However, it's different from any language on Earth, said Allure. If you can't understand the language in the ruins, you won't be able to read it. This will waste a lot of your time. In the early days, when no one understood the language, there were war gods who stayed in the ruins for a whole 7 months before coming out. Understanding the language will help you guys get more results with less effort. So before you enter, I'll install a translation software on your tactical communications watches. This set of translation software could translate the language of archaeological ruin number 9 into Chinese and English. After you guys come out, I'll be responsible for uninstalling this translation software. After 5 minutes, the installation process was completed. South America Amazon jungle night. The universe-level auto jet was swiftly diving down from the sky and then slowly landing. The hatch opened. Luo Fong, the other war gods, and Allure walked out together. The surroundings were actually a wasteland, and around the wasteland was a boundless forest. You could even see some monsters, but none of them dared to come close. A chee-chee sound rang, and the dirt on the ground shook. The ground actually split into 2 and formed a 5-meter-wide tunnel that led underground. Beep! The silver-gray elevator directly rose to the surface. The elevator door opened, and an old man wearing a red robe came out. Representative Allure, the red-robed old man, slightly bowed. Okay. Allure looked at Luo Fong and the other 7, and the corner of her mouth slightly curled. All right, hurry up and go in. After that, we'll enter the archaeological ruin. Everyone's situation will be different. I hope that you guys can come out alive. After that, Representative Allure directly jumped into the universe-level auto jet, and the jet quickly flew away. Everyone, please hurry. There are only 2 hours left before archaeological ruin number 9 opens this year, reminded the red-robed old man. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 186. The last 2 hours? This archaeological ruin number 9 seems to have a time limit, thought Luo Fong to himself. At the same time, he maintained his silence and entered the silver-gray elevator with the other 7 war gods. The red-robed old man pressed the elevator button. Beep! The elevator door closed, and the silver-gray elevator started to descend. Shishi, The entrance swiftly closed, and the wasteland in the depths of the Amazon jungle returned to its peaceful state. However, even so, none of the monsters that wandered in the Amazon jungle dared to get close to it. Huh. The elevator door opened. What appeared in front of them was a black hallway made of alloy. There were fluorescent lights in the hallway. Everyone, welcome to the human base of archaeological ruin number 9. The red-robed old man spoke fluent Chinese and then spoke fluent English. We're all in a bit of a rush right now, so I won't waste any more time. Everyone, follow me. The red-robed old man walked in front, while Luo Feng and the other 7 followed behind. On the black hallway, they passed through a total of 9 checkpoints and finally arrived at an empty hall that was a few hundred square meters in size. Around 100 humans from all over the world were gathered in the hall, and most of them were in front of computers. Welcome, 8 war gods. War gods, I wish you all the best in making it out alive. Go, go, go. When you return, you'll be greeted by beautiful champagne. Most of the people in this underground base were overly excited, but Luo Feng and the other 7 remained silent. The red-robed old man smiled on the side. Don't mind these guys. They've been underground for too long and rarely see outsiders, so they're pretty excited. All right, are the 8 of you ready? He said in Chinese and English once. Luo Feng and the other 7 didn't make a sound and just stared at him. Very good, open the tunnel, yelled the red-robed old man loudly. Crack, crack, crack. The curved alloy wall in front of the hall actually cracked open and a circular tunnel appeared. What? Holy! The 8 war gods, who were silent, stared at the circular tunnel in shock. Their eyes were filled with shock. Luo Feng couldn't hide his shock either. The first 2 to 3 meters of the circular tunnel were alloy, but after that, it was a weird dark brown color, as if the tunnel was formed by intertwining tree roots. At the end of the tunnel was a constantly glowing mirror. Maybe it's a mirror. Follow the tunnel and enter the glowing mirror. That's not a mirror, but the entrance to archaeological ruin number 9. Once you enter, you won't be able to regret it. 8 war gods. I hope you all can come out alive. The red-robed old man looked at Luo Feng's group of 8. The people in the vast hall, too, looked at Luo Feng's group of 8. No one knows if they'll survive this time. The 8 war gods went silent. Everyone, Luo Feng directly walked towards the tunnel. I'll be going first. Go. Go. Luo Feng walked in the first, and the war gods behind him walked in one after another. Ka ka ka. The alloy wall behind him closed. There was no turning back. Stepping on the dark brown old roots that formed a weird tunnel, a weird smell pervaded the air. Luo Feng sniffed. This smell is coming from the roots? Why does it smell so similar to the black god set? Only when the black god set was in close proximity could one smell a very faint but permanent smell. Time. Entrance to the archaeological ruin. Luo Feng looked ahead at the round mirror that was glowing. Brother Luo Feng, good luck, yelled Tuoba Yin on the side. You're lucky too, laughed Luo Feng. Without any hesitation, he took a step and entered the glowing round mirror. The mirror was like a rippling surface of water as it easily swallowed Luo Feng. I'll be next, said a black man in his native language. A black man spoke in his native dialect, gritted his teeth, and stepped into the circular mirror. One by one, the 8 of them all entered. This was a black hall with a hemispherical ceiling. The entire black hall was at least a few hundred square meters. Rays of dreamy light shot down from the roof of the black hall, making the entire hall seem like a dream. This is archaeological ruin number 9. Luo Feng stood in the hall and looked around. His face slightly changed. Where are the others? At the same time, Tuoba Yin and the other 7 war gods also appeared in the other black halls. The structure of each black hall was exactly the same. No wonder it's an archaeological ruin. As soon as I stepped in, my vision became blurry and I stepped into this hall. And I even got separated from the others. Tuoba Yin looked around curiously. Actually, before coming here, they all knew that each wargod's experience is different. The difficulty they face is also different. Suddenly, a dreamy rainbow light enveloped Tuoba Yin. XXXXX, a complicated sound rang in the hall. Luckily, there's a translation software. Tooba, Yin lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. In just 2 seconds, the translated sound came from the tactical communications watch. Please enter the type A tunnel. The corresponding sentence, archaeological ruin language, also appeared on the tactical communications watch's screen. The black hall was slowly shaking. After around half a minute, a black tunnel appeared. There were complicated words beside the tunnel. HM, the words are the same. This should be the type A tunnel. There's only one tunnel anyway. Tooba, Yin directly walked towards the tunnel. After he entered, the tunnel in the black hall instantly became blurry and disappeared. You can say that at the same time, 7 of the 8 war gods entered the depths of the archaeological ruin through the tunnel. In the black hall, the dreamy rainbow light enveloped Luo Feng. What's going on? This rainbow light has covered me for over 60 seconds, but there's no reaction at all? Luo Feng was very confused as he raised his head and looked at the dreamy rainbow light. However, he didn't know that the other 7 war gods quickly entered the depths of the archaeological ruin through their respective tunnels after they were covered. Only Luo Feng. XX, XX, XX. A rhythmic ear-piercing sound suddenly resounded throughout the black hall. Translation software. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. The software was turned on, and a sound came from the tactical communications watch. Alert! 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 Alert? Luo Feng froze. What Luo Feng didn't know was that this situation has never happened since the humans of Earth discovered archaeological ruin number 9. The dreamy rainbow light that enveloped Luo Feng suddenly disappeared. At the same time, crystal ropes that were as thick as fingers suddenly shot down from the hemispherical ceiling of the black hall. Over 100 crystal ropes were as fast as lightning. Their speed was even more shocking than the Misty Island's vines. Not good, Luo Feng tried to dodge. Unfortunately, the crystal rope's speed reached an unbelievable level. Luo Feng couldn't resist and instantly wrapped around Luo Feng. The crystal ropes wrapped Luo Feng like a dumpling. What's going on? How come I've never heard of being tied up as soon as I enter the base? Luo Feng controlled the soaring shuttle in his backpack. 6 blades flew out of his backpack and slashed towards the crystal ropes like lightning. The soaring shuttle blades that cut through steel like tofu couldn't even leave a mark on the crystal ropes. Open, Luo Feng struggled with all his might. Pu, Pu, Pu. Luo Feng continuously controlled the throwing knives to cut. Unfortunately, in front of the crystal ropes, his struggles were like that of a child's. They were completely useless. Luo Feng slowly understood that with his bit of strength, he had no way of fighting back in front of this archaeological ruin. Right? How could he deal with an archaeological ruin that can grant him a black god set? Sure enough, the archaeological ruin is filled with unknowns. I didn't think that I would encounter such a situation as soon as I arrived. However, these crystal ropes are only tying me up. They probably don't have any intentions of killing me, Luo Feng thought. And at this time, streams of light passed through the crystal ropes that tied Luo Feng and swiftly headed towards the ceiling of the black hall. Just like a computer sending a signal, this process lasted for around 30 seconds. It was very sudden. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. All of the crystal ropes swiftly gathered and merged into the ceiling. XXXXX, XXXXX. A long string of words echoed around the entire black hall. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. Complicated words appeared on the tactical communications watch's display, and at the same time, a string of Chinese words came out. Congratulations, your brain is 21, greater than 18. You have the right to enter this training base's elite tunnel. Because this is the first time the elite tunnel has opened in 5,000 years. Please wait for 15 minutes. Luo Feng stood in the black hall, his mind a mess. Didn't that royal guard allure say that in the entire archaeological ruin number 9, there's only the A and B type tunnels? Where did this elite tunnel come from? And it's the first time it's opened in 5,000 years? And he even talked about brain expanse. What's brain expanse? Luo Feng was confused. My brain expanse is 21. Greater than 18? It sounds like a brain expanse of 18 is the minimum requirement. From what I heard from the archaeological ruin, so many war gods have come in, but not a single person has been able to enter this elite tunnel. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? The good thing is that, from what I heard from the elite tunnel, it's different from the A and B type tunnels, so I'll probably get some unexpected rewards. The bad thing is that once you enter the elite tunnel, all of the previous experiences won't apply. Nobody knows what will happen after entering the elite tunnel for the first time in 5,000 years. 15 minutes, it's been so long. There's no signal from my tactical communications watch at all. Looks like there's no way to communicate with the outside world within this ruin. Luo Feng glanced at his watch. He wasn't surprised. If there's a way to communicate with the outside world, then the Dojo of Limits and the Thunder Dojo would probably know a lot more about this archaeological ruin. Time passed minute by minute. Luo Feng silently waited. XXXXX. A string of words echoed in the black hall, and at the same time, the walls of the hall started to slowly tremble. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. The tactical communications watch translated a sentence. Please enter the elite tunnel. He raised his head. A bottomless black tunnel had already appeared on the walls of the black hall. Beside the tunnel were complicated words that were very similar to the words displayed on the watch. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 187. The elite tunnel, huh? With a thought from Luo Feng, the 365 blades immediately flew out from the gap he purposely left in his bag and formed the soaring shuttle. Luo Feng leaped onto the soaring shuttle. Once he stepped on the soaring shuttle, his speed and agility would increase significantly. Go! Whoosh! With a speed comparable to a car, he flew into the black tunnel. The black tunnel was incomparably deep. After flying for over 500 meters, Luo Feng finally saw a fork in the road ahead. 9 forks? A maze? Luo Feng frowned. In his heart, he was clear that according to what his royal guard, Allure, told him about archaeological ruin number 9 and what he experienced before, there was no way he would be able to survive. He was certain that this was a trial ground used to eliminate the weak and select the strong. There would be various trial contents. A labyrinth, why? Luo Feng was curious. I'll first choose a path. Luo Feng followed the first path on the left and flew in. In just a moment, another 9 paths appeared at the end of this fork. F*CK, 9 after 9. If this goes on, even the most powerful expert will get lost. Luo Feng carefully observed his surroundings. All around him were black tree roots intertwining to form ancient pathways. Nothing special. In a fork about 300 meters away from Luo Feng, a blurry black shadow seeped out of the wall of the fork where black tree roots intertwined. After a while, like water droplets falling, this black shadow also dripped down and landed on the ground of the fork. It gradually solidified and became a black-robed man wearing a silver mask. The same thing happened in the other paths. In the 9 paths ahead of Luo Feng and the 9 paths behind him, every path produced a black-robed man wearing a silver mask. A total of 18 black-robed men started to gather towards Luo Feng. People? With a glance, Luo Feng saw a black-robed man walk out from the fork in the distance. This black-robed man wore a silver-gray mask, and his pupils were green. He looked at Luo Feng with undisguised killing intent. Another one, a black-robed man, also walked out from another fork. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. The 9 black-robed men stood in front of the 9 tunnels, their green pupils filled with killing intent as they stared at Luo Feng. Ow! A howl resounded from behind Luo Feng. There are also 9 behind. Luo Feng's spiritual force clearly discovered that behind the tunnel he was in, there were a total of 9 black-robed men walking towards him step by step, letting out low roars. Suddenly, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 9 black-robed men at the back were like lightning as they rushed towards Luo Feng. The 9 black-robed men at the front were the same. Each black-robed man was filled with killing intent. We can't be blocked by them in the passageway. Otherwise, we'll be surrounded and in big trouble. Charge! Boom! Stepping on the soaring shuttle, holding the hexagonal shield in one hand and the blood shadow saber in the other, he rushed forward like a blood-red phantom. Break! Luo Feng's gaze was cold. Xiao! 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 6 curved blades danced in the air like graceful butterflies. They streaked across the air like streams of light, directly bombarding the first black-robed man who rushed into the passage. The black-robed man roared in a low voice. He wore a pair of silver-gray gloves and directly met the blades head-on. He wanted to block the shockingly fast blades. Pooh! A low sound rang out. Each blade had over 500,000 kilograms of force. The 6 blades simultaneously struck the black-robed man. This black-robed man was like a cannonball as he was sent flying. As he flew out of the passage, he even knocked another black-robed man away. Howl! Howl! The 9 black-robed men in the passage behind clearly couldn't compare to Luo Feng in terms of speed. However, the other 8 black-robed men in the passage ahead didn't rush in by themselves. Instead, they blocked the entrance. Those who block me die. Break! 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 Luo Feng's speed was already raised to the limit. His terrifying speed of over 1,000 meters per second created sonic booms. Under such speed, the air distorted and formed ripples. The 6 blades, in particular, flew in front of Luo Feng, clearing the obstacles for Luo Feng. The 8 black-robed men in front of the passage howled madly and waved their silver-gray gloves at the same time. Breaking 1 finger is better than injuring 10 fingers. Luo Feng's gaze was cold. Whoosh! The instant he rushed out of the passage, the soaring shuttle fiercely drew an arc and rushed towards the right. There was only one target, the black-robed man on the far right, and Luo Feng's left hand held the shield, preparing to receive any possible attacks. Pung! Pu! 3 heavy punches smashed onto Luo Feng's shield. Each punch was as heavy as MT Tai, over 1,000,000 kg in weight. Thankfully, the 3 punches came in sequence. If they hit at the same time, without any buffer, Luo Feng would probably die from the shock. Pu! Fresh blood sprayed out. His left arm was completely fractured. Die! Luo Feng's eyes didn't even look at the other black-robed men. He only stared at the black-robed man on the far right. The 6 blades were like lightning as they ferociously sliced towards the black-robed man's head and neck. Howl! As the black-robed man on the far right roared, he waved his hands like lightning. Unfortunately, Luo Feng's throwing blades were way too fast. 2 of the throwing blades that were over 10 times the speed of sound successfully sliced through the black-robed man's neck. Pu! The first blade didn't even manage to cut a centimeter. Pu! The second blade sliced through nearly half of the black-robed man's neck. Get out of the way! Luo Feng, whose speed exceeded 1,000 meters per second, roared. His eyes were red and the ghost blade in his right hand instantly transformed into a thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, extremely fast. When Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and his speed exceeded 1,000 meters per second, the 9-stage Thunder Blade S 4th stage completely exploded, bringing along the concept of Thunderbolt. This blade became the most powerful blade Luo Feng has ever unleashed. The blade directly swept past the black-robed man, who was on the verge of death. Rumble! First was the blade, and then Luo Feng's entire body. The black-robed man exploded. Howl! Howl! The other black-robed men furiously charged over like lightning. Every single one of them ran at around 800 meters per second, which was way faster than Liao's. Every single one of them was comparable to Phantom Demon Catalan, including the black-robed man that was sent flying by Luo Feng. He once again chased after him. A total of 17 black-robed men madly chased after him. You guys won't make it. Luo Feng was like lightning as he charged towards the far right tunnel. Whoosh! With a sonic boom, Luo Feng's speed on his shield reached 1,300 meters per second, which was 500 meters per second faster than the black-cloaked men. So, in just a few seconds, Luo Feng left the group of black-cloaked men in the dust. However, Luo Feng continued to fly along one tunnel after another and only stopped after flying for half a minute. 9 forks, another 9 forks, and another 9 forks. It's endless. It would be weird if they could find me. Luo Feng was amazed at the design of this maze. In terms of intricacies, this maze wasn't intricacies at all. It was very simple. However, how was such a huge maze built? I ran so far, so I probably won't be able to find my way back in a short amount of time. Luo Feng shook his head as he laughed. Luckily, I escaped. Those 18 black-robed men are too hard to deal with. Each of them has the strength of a fighter at the peak of the war god level, and the gloves they're wearing are weird too. If he gets surrounded and killed by the 17 alive black-robed men. Without the black god set, Luo Feng doesn't have the confidence to survive. The 17 black-robed men were all at the original battlefield. The corpses of the dead black-robed men were scattered on the floor of the tunnel. Suddenly, as if they melted, the corpses slowly merged into the ground and disappeared. The bodies of the 17 black-robed men became illusionary and became blurry black shadows that merged into the ground. In a certain core area of archaeological ruin number 9, thousands of crystal ropes extended towards the same direction. At the same time, streams of light came from within them and gathered towards the core area. The dark brown tree roots formed an intersection. In the wide intersection, there were 9 paths in front of him. Another 9 forks. If this goes on, when will we reach the end? No matter how good Luo Feng's temper was, he couldn't help but to stop. Every single intersection was exactly the same. If I successfully pass, I'll receive a black god set. However, what does successfully pass mean? Luo Feng looked at the 9 paths in front of him and felt a bit helpless. If they told him directly, defeating a few black-robed men would be enough to pass, and he would work hard. However, there was no hint at all. Luo Feng couldn't help but to shake his head. In the silent intersection, Luo Feng was still thinking about what to do. Without any warning, Xiao, Xiao, Xiao. Like rain, transparent streams of light shot down from the sky. In an instant, these transparent streams of light formed a 5-meter-tall, 8-meter-wide crystal house, trapping Luo Feng inside. What's going on? I didn't even have time to react before a crystal house formed and trapping me? Luo Feng looked at the crystal house, and with a thought, the 6 throwing knives instantly whistled through the air and simultaneously landed on the same 5 centimeters diameter crystal wall that was over 10 times the speed of sound. The crystal house only slightly shook, but unfortunately, there wasn't a single crack on the crystal wall. What material is this house made of? Even diamond would turn to dust with that attack of mine. Luo Feng's heart was a bit cold. His full strength, over 3 million kilograms of force, actually didn't leave a single crack on the 5 centimeters diameter circle. How am I supposed to get out? XXXXX. A mysterious voice echoed around the crystal house and spoke for a while. Luo Feng, on the other hand, was extremely happy. This archaeological ruin finally spoke. He lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. The translation software immediately translated a large chunk of words. Elite student Luo Feng, your exam death mission has officially begun. During this time, you will receive a supply of food and water. On the walls of the exam room, the Spirit Reader's Manipulator secret 312 basic forms are engraved. After learning these 312 forms, you will have a chance to break out of this exam room. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the walls of the crystal house. He saw that on the walls of this translucent crystal house, there were large amounts of complicated and varied carvings. There were over 300 pictures of the human body, and at the same time, there were explanations from the ancient ruins. Just by looking at it, Luo Feng felt extremely complicated. However, this seemed to be the Spirit Reader Manipulator's secret basics. This was the foundation. Exam death mission requirement. Break out of the exam room within 3 years. If you can't break out of the exam room within 3 years, you will fail. Failure means death. Asterisk asterisk PS. 2 chapters finished. The background story of Swallowing Star shyly revealed a bit more. It's already the second half of this month. Tomato helplessly realized. His monthly votes haven't increased much, and he's being caught up bit by bit. Now that he's about to be surpassed, Tomato has no choice. So, he can only thicken his skin, extend his hands, and ask everyone for a monthly vote. Those who have a monthly vote support Tomato. Even if we don't want to be number one, we can't fall too badly, right? Monthly tickets, I'll leave it to you guys. Chapter 188. Deep within the archaeological ruins, in a translucent crystal room in the labyrinth. Failure means death. 3 years. Luo Feng's face immediately turned ugly. He has no way of contacting the outside world in this archaeological ruin. This special death mission actually gave him 3 years of time. However, if he really is trapped in this ruin for a long time, what will the outside world think? They'll probably think that he's dead. When that happens, they'll even notify his parents, and Su Xian will know. What do I do? I'm not dead. But if I'm trapped here for a long time, I won't be able to contact the outside world. Luo Feng was extremely worried. Thinking about how his parents, brother, and Su Xian thought that he was dead, Luo Feng couldn't help but to be even more worried. Fuck, I actually encountered this exam mission. I'd rather not get the treasure for the mission. Luo Feng couldn't guess what would happen to his family if he wasn't here for 3 years. Hurry, I have to break out of this secret room as fast as I can. Luo Feng's eyes scanned the walls of the crystal room. There were large amounts of complicated carvings on the walls. Without caring about anything else, Luo Feng clenched his teeth. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 6 blades transformed into 6 flashes of light and smashed into the empty circle on the crystal wall that had a diameter of 3 centimeters. Boom, boom, boom. Again and again, Luo Feng madly smashed with all his might. Break for me. Luo Feng was a bit hysterical. I don't want to be here for 3 years. He bombarded it again and again, but this strange crystal-like material didn't even have a crack. Useless, useless, Luo Feng powerlessly knelt in the crystal room. His rationality told him that since the assessment mission had given him a total of 3 years, it would be extremely difficult to break out of the crystal room. If he could contact the outside world through his tactical communications watch while he was in the ruins, he could tell his parents and girlfriend that he was still alive. That would be good too. However, he can't contact them. Once something happens to his parents, so what if he gains a lot? I can't resist. I can only accept. Luo Feng's eyes were like blades as he scanned the pictures and words on the crystal wall. Give me 3 years, and I'll break out of this secret room in 3 months. Whoosh. Luo Feng pressed the button on his tactical communications watch. Like a camera, the large amounts of pictures and words on the crystal wall were recorded into the tactical communications watch. After that, through the translation software, everything was translated into pictures in Chinese. After more than 20 minutes, a manipulator's secret manual, Basic 312 Forms, was completed. Since then, Huaxia Capital Time, September 29th, 2057, 2256. Luo Feng was currently starting to practice the manipulator's secret technique, Basic 312 Forms. His intense desire to return home caused Luo Feng to put 100% of his energy into it. This civilization ruin provided food and water. Thirsty, drink water. Hungry, eat. And the rest of the time, he was completely immersed in this foundation training. Once he started, Luo Feng realized just how profound the fundamental 312 forms was. In terms of complexity and profoundness, it was unknown how many times more profound than the Celestial Deity Catalog. The Celestial Deity Catalog was actually a very boring catalog that allowed people to control flying daggers and so on. This was based on a cultivation principle. Practice makes perfect, and punch 1,000 times, and the meaning will show itself. It was to constantly train the limits of one's control of flying daggers, thus achieving the effect of improving one's control. These catalogs were actually deduced by Hong through his AI system. Each one was harder than the last, but the fundamental 312 forms was different. This was actually the basic training method of a spirit reader, the manipulator branch of the forces that built this archaeological ruin number 9. Because of this secret manual, who knows how many powerful fighters that were 10 times or 100 times stronger than Luo Feng were born in the distant past. The spirit reader basics that Luo Feng bought, which was treated as a treasure by Hong, was the crystallization of humanity's knowledge over the past few decades. It was something that could be taken for granted. And the fundamental 312 forms was a secret manual that went through billions of years of trials. Once he started training, Luo Feng immediately felt the difference between the two. After bitterly training the celestial deity catalog for so long, Luo Feng's improvement was minimal. However, training this fundamental 312 forms, his ability to control flying daggers kept increasing. This speed of improvement shocked even Luo Feng. Boom! Still not enough. In the crystal room, Luo Feng, whose face was covered in stubble, stared at the crystal wall. There were no cracks on the crystal wall. The 10 flying daggers that hit the crystal wall flew back into the soaring shuttle, a total of 10 flying daggers. Each of them has an impact force of over 500,000 kilograms, but it's still far from enough. Continue. Luo Feng once again immersed himself in the fundamental 312 forms. From controlling 6 daggers to 10 daggers. Only 2 months and 21 days have passed. Keep in mind that Luo Feng has been training the celestial deity catalog for over a month, and he still hasn't improved from controlling 6 daggers to 7 daggers. Comparing the two, the difference in training methods is indeed shocking. Underground base at the entrance of archaeological ruin number 9. It's been 3 months. The red-robed old man shook his head and sighed. Luo Feng hasn't come out for 3 whole months. Notify the dojo of limits. Yes. Many of the workers in the base sent the message. Luo Feng was training bitterly in the archaeological ruin, so he didn't know what was happening in the outside world. This time, the dojo of limits sent a total of 8 war gods into archaeological ruin number 9, and 5 of them came out. Of these 5, 2 succeeded and 3 were crippled. The other 3 didn't come out. Generally, those who didn't come out of the ruins alive would be considered dead. However, keep in mind that one of the 3 that didn't come out was the extremely famous invincible war god Luo Feng. No one would have thought that Luo Feng would fail. Even if he failed, at least he could escape with a cripple. However, there was no more news of Luo Feng and the other 2 war gods. Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, inside the gigantic spaceship. The black-clothed man, Hong, stood silently and looked at the outside world through the glass window. Ed, said Allure respectfully. I didn't think. Hong let out a long sigh. This time, 8 people went in and 5 came out. The fastest one came out in just 3 days. The last one came out was on the 15th day. The remaining 3 never came out, including Luo Feng. Normally, if you don't come out after 3 months, you'll be judged dead. Before the translation software, the war god fighters that entered archaeological ruin number 9 were trapped for around 7 months because they couldn't understand what was being said. However, after the translation software, their efficiency greatly increased. The one that stayed the longest was only 1.5 months. The dojo doubled the time and set the 3 months time as the time of death. If they don't come out of archaeological ruin number 9 within 3 months, they'll be judged dead. This time, 3 didn't come out, said the black-clothed man, Hong quietly. Notify their families of their deaths. Luo Feng is an exception. Notify Luo Feng's family that Luo Feng's death hasn't been confirmed yet. Yes, Allure bowed. But head, it's already been 3 months? Allure couldn't help but to ask. The black-clothed man sighed. I still can't believe that Luo Feng died in archaeological ruin number 9. Go. Yes. Yao Rao left. The black-clothed man, Hong, silently looked outside the window. The first time he saw Luo Feng was in the elite training camp. At that time, Hong was shocked by Luo Feng's talent. Step by step, he valued Luo Feng more and more. He even gave the soaring shuttle to Luo Feng because he believed that Luo Feng would become his right-hand man in the future. Who would have thought that he died in archaeological ruin number 9, which has a relatively low danger level? Morning, Yangzhou City's Mingyue sector. Honghua, what do you think is going on? Yelled Gong Xianlan in the kitchen. I haven't been able to contact Feng for 3 months. I've been panicking. Don't worry, laughed Luo Honghua in the living room as he read the newspaper. Our son is an absolute expert. Killing monsters is like chopping vegetables. Last time, the commander of the southeastern sector even came to our house to thank us suddenly. The doorbell rang. Maybe Feng is back. Luo Honghua immediately stood up, but Gong Xianlan, who was in the kitchen, ran even faster than him. She ran to the door and opened it. You guys are... Luo Honghua and Gong Xianlan looked at the two people in front of them suspiciously. Standing outside the door was a very beautiful girl, and behind her was another girl. And under the stairs at the door, another 4 people walked up. They were the dojo of Limits, Jiangnan headquarters cities, Chairman Zhou, and the 3 chiefs. These 6 people all had pained expressions on their faces. Honghua, something's not right. I'm a bit panicked, said Gong Xianlan quietly. Chairman Zhou, hurry up and come in, laughed Luo Honghua. The 6 people came in. The girl in the lead bowed. Mr. Luo, Lady Gong, I am Luo Feng's master, Jiang Feng. So it's teacher Jiang Feng. I've heard of you, laughed Gong Xianlan. I came today to inform you guys of some news. Jiang Feng's eyes also had a bit of sadness in them. She didn't think that such a talented and hard-working youth would. Luo Honghua and Gong Xianlan exchanged glances. Our dojo suspects that your son, Luo Feng, is dead, so we're informing the 2 elders, said Jiang Feng quietly. Holy! Gong Xianlan's eyes were wide open, and she immediately fainted and collapsed. Luo Honghua's body was shaking, but he still held onto his wife. Luo Honghua couldn't help but to cry. Jiang Feng also hurriedly supported Gong Xianlan. Gong Xianlan's limp body slightly trembled. She opened her eyes and looked at Jiang Feng, her voice trembling. Teacher Jiang, it's impossible. It's impossible. Nothing could have happened to my little Feng. It's impossible. It's impossible. Gong Xianlan's face was frighteningly white. You guys, it's just a suspicion. It's not confirmed yet, said Jiang Feng. Right, just a suspicion. Luo Honghua held on to Gong Xianlan. It's fine. Fo will come back. Gong Xianlan, on the other hand, silently shed tears. Suspicion? What kind of power is the Dojo of Limits? One of the most powerful forces on Earth. The Dojo of Limits sent a few war gods to inform the 2 of them. Would they dare to say anything without any evidence? Luo Honghua was clear that his son, Luo Feng, had a 90% chance of dying. Chairman Zhou, hello, Luo Hua smiled as he walked into the house. Luo Hua walked into the house with a smile on his face, but when he saw his father and mother, he couldn't help but panic. He rushed over and asked, Dad, Mom, what happened to you? P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 189. Ever since they found out about this, Luo Feng's family sank into pain. However, they were like drowning people desperately grasping onto the last straw, since Luo Feng's death hasn't been confirmed yet. So they waited anxiously. They didn't dare to inform Luo Feng's girlfriend, Su Exen. Time passed day by day. There's no such thing as an airtight wall in this world, especially since Su Xin is a member of the Su family. After Luo Feng disappeared for 5 months, Su Xin found out about what happened. When she anxiously asked Luo Feng's parents, they could only tell her the truth. Even though it was painful, they were still waiting. Without absolute certainty, they wouldn't give up. In the depths of archaeological ruin number 9, in the crystal room of the labyrinth, Luo Feng, who had a face full of beard, lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. 1 year, it's been an entire year. I've been trapped in this archaeological ruin for an entire year. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. With a thought, Luo Feng's formless and powerful spiritual force flew out like dragons and wrapped around the blades. A total of 14 curved blades danced in the air and then turned into 14 flowing lights that fiercely bombarded the crystal wall. Boom! 14 blades, each with over 500,000 kilograms of force, add up to over 7 million kilograms of force. Even an advanced level war god wearing a black god set would be heavily injured. After a few hits, their organs would probably rupture and they would die from the shock. Rumble, the crystal room also shook for a bit. Still not enough. Over 7 million kilograms of force isn't enough. Keep in mind that a regular advanced level war god, for example, can punch 300,000 kilograms with a force amplitude of 3, so the force of one blade would only be around 900,000 kilograms. Luo Feng's force is 8 times his, maybe even more. This kind of strength is far above any advanced level war god. He can even threaten an existence surpassing the war god level. However, still not enough. I'll definitely get out, Dad, Mom. Suit fixin'. Wait for me, Luo Feng closed his eyes. 2 drops of tears couldn't help but to flow down his face. A clear tear stain appeared on his face that was covered in dust. Virtual space in a large conference room. A silver floor, silver walls, and a gigantic silver round table. There were only 6 chairs that were completely black, as if they could even swallow the sunlight. Right now, 5 white-robed men and 1 black-clothed man sat on the 6 black chairs. This is the highest level of the Dojo of Limits, the Round Table Conference. Dojo Master Hong and the 5 inspectors were all in position. Head, Luo Feng has been in Archaeological Ruin Number 9 for an entire year. Even if he didn't understand the language or words back then, Luo Feng has already entered Archaeological Ruin Number 9. The longest that could come out alive was at most 7 months. After you understand it, it will take at most 1.5 months, a white man said slowly. Can you confirm it? The black-clothed Hong said indifferently. Confirmed Luo Feng's death. The expressions of the 5 inspectors changed slightly. Transfer all of Luo Feng's assets to his family, said the black-clothed man, Hong coldly. Leave that auto jet in the dojo, yes. The 5 investigators complied, but in their hearts, they were amazed at how much Hong cared for Luo Feng's family. For someone like Hong, handling Luo Feng's inheritance is a small matter, but he personally gave the order. Don't be fooled by Hong's order to leave the auto jet in the dojo. Keep in mind, Emperor-level auto jets are expensive, over 200 billion. No one dared to say anything about Luo Feng using his auto jet. But if Luo Feng's family had this auto jet, it would be a disaster. And with Hong personally giving the order to transfer his assets, no one would dare to take any money from it. Keep in mind that Luo Feng's inheritance is a huge amount. Sadly, Luo Feng died in Archaeological Ruin Number 9, so we can't even hold a memorial for him, sighed Investigator Liu. Investigator Liu let out a sigh. Normally, when a war god dies, there will be a nationwide live broadcast of the memorial service. At that time, even the country's leaders, fighters, and many war gods will participate, and the entire country will watch the broadcast. However, there won't be a public memorial for the war god that died in Archaeological Ruin Number 9. First of all, to hold a memorial, you have to fake the cause of death. Second of all, in history, the Thunder Dojo once held a memorial for the war god that stayed in Archaeological Ruin Number 9 for 7 months. But who would have thought that he would come out again after 7 months? The person that was publicly declared dead to the entire country came back to life. Isn't that awkward? Ever since that incident, no memorial has been held for the people that died in Archaeological Ruin Number 9. Head, we should discuss the new examiner for Jiangnan Headquarters City. On September 30th, 2058, the Dojo of Limits posted an announcement on their website. News of war god Luo Feng's death. Luo Honghua and Gong Xianlong learned about it on that day. Even though they also received a huge amount of wealth from Luo Feng, Luo Honghua and Gong Xianlong were still extremely sad. And Su Xian couldn't handle the shock on the day she received the news and directly chose to quit school. She left Jiangnan Headquarters City by herself and went to a foreign land. Even though the Su family's family members had ways to find Su Xian, the Su family's head strictly ordered, just let Su Xian be outside and protect her in secret. Don't disturb her. Jiangnan Headquarters City, Jiangnan Mountain Water Sector, the villa on top of Hua Yao Peak. After a year, it welcomed its new owner. inside the villa. Ah, ha ha ha, I'm so happy, so happy. As he stood in the villa, Li Yao raised his hands up high. After that, he clenched his fists, took a deep breath, and turned his head to look at his wife, Vanina. The dojo of limits finally confirmed Luo Feng's death. However, I wasn't able to personally kill him. Vanina said quietly, "No, doesn't he have family too? If he dares to kill our child, then we—" Yes, Li Yao's eyes seemed to have a terrifying green light. However, his family is still the family of the dojo of limits, laughed Li Yao coldly. Killing them will only bring bad luck to us. Li Yao laughed coldly. Killing them will only bring bad luck to us. The best way is to use secular methods to torture Luo Feng's family. Make them break down and even commit suicide in pain. That way, no one can blame it on us. Li Yao looked towards Vanina. No one will stop me from arranging for the HR Alliance's forces this time, right? Last time, when Li Yao wanted to use common methods, he was stopped by the chairman of the HR Alliance's underground conference. Luo Feng is already dead. Who cares about a dead person's family? Laughed Vanina unconcernedly. When Luo Feng was here, even the HR Alliance was a bit afraid of him. Now that he's dead, what's there to be afraid of? Then let's begin, smiled Li Yao. I'll arrange it. Our HR Alliance has plenty of psychology masters. Torturing him and mentally breaking them down is a simple matter, smiled Vanina. Mingyu's sector. What? My mom fought with someone in Lotus Pond Park and got beaten up. Luo Hua couldn't believe it. But even if she got beaten up, why would she cry like that? The nanny Chin on the side said, that shrew's words are too harsh. Even I'm furious. But she has quite a few female helpers. Luo Hua squinted his eyes. Even though Luo Feng is the most dazzling member of the Luo family, Luo Hua's talent is also shocking, especially in terms of intelligence. Even Luo Feng admits that he's not as smart as his brother. To be able to cause so much trouble in the stock market at such a young age. The stock market is the place that reflects one's personality the most. Back then, the disabled Luo Hua always fought in the stock market. Now, he's definitely an expert in the stock market. However, he's always been overshadowed by Luo Feng. No matter how good he is at making money, he can't make money as fast as Luo Feng. But he's not dumb. He's actually very smart. I've always been afraid of brother's enemy. That Li Yao, coming back, could it be him? Maybe he's overreacting, but Luo Hua still doesn't dare to relax. As of now, he's in charge of the tens of billions of assets his brother Luo Feng left behind. He also has a 1,000-year black crow root spirit of nature, which is said to be priceless. 2 months later. What? Li Yao and Vanina's faces weren't looking too good. There's nothing we can do. That Luo kid Luo Hua actually hired 6 advanced-level warlords as bodyguards. Usually, when his parents go out, 2 advanced-level warlords follow them, said a young man respectfully. We don't have the ability to arrange for a powerful war god fighter to act, so we can't do anything about it. We'll use something soft, but Luo Hua is now the 8th shareholder of China's ICBC, so he can use China's special forces to protect his family. Li Yao and Vanina were dumbstruck as they heard this. The ICBC, that's the biggest bank in China, has a market value of nearly 10 trillion. Just the country's finance department and Huijin control over 50% of the shares. And the top 10 shareholders indeed have astonishing power. However, the top 5 shareholders are all powerful forces, not individuals. How did a brat like Luo Hua become the 8th shareholder of the ICBC? Even if he took out tens of billions, at least someone would be willing to sell that many shares. In the stock market, it's almost impossible to buy so many shares in such a short amount of time. In China, our HR Alliance's power can't compare to the country's special forces. This is their territory, said the young man as he bowed. Fuck off, roared Li Yao. The young man didn't dare to make a sound as he left. Li Yao's face was ugly. I didn't think that this Luo family's Luo Feng would be so hard to deal with, but this normal person named Luo Hua is also so hard to deal with. How did he become the 8th shareholder of ICBC? I can't beat your brother. I don't believe that I can't beat you. Luo family, Liao's eyes flashed fiercely when Liao started to use all sorts of methods to deal with the Luo family. December 26th, 2058, which is around 1 year and 3 months after Luo Feng was trapped in the crystal room. In the labyrinth, the crystal room was transparent and beautiful. However, it was even tougher than the scales of an emperor-level monster. It trapped Luo Feng for 1 year and 3 months. Boom! With a roar, streams of light broke through the crystal room's walls and shot out. A black, tall, and large figure excitedly walked out. I'm finally out. I'm finally out. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Luo Feng finally passed the death mission. The last chapter was a bit depressing. Sweat, the next chapter will be awesome. Yesterday, I pulled out the monthly votes. Everyone was awesome. However, the monthly votes are still a bit dangerous right now. Brothers and sisters of the Red Alliance, sweat. Throw your monthly votes to Tomato. Voting method. Click recommend the author for monthly votes below. Chapter 190. After 1 year and 3 months of hard work, he finally broke through this crystal room. The crystal room that had a huge hole in the wall suddenly let out a chi-chi sound. After that, it completely transformed into a dreamy light and merged into the dark brown tree roots on the ground. XXXXX, a familiar sound rang in the maze. 1 year and 3 months, I finally hear this sound again. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the tactical communications watch on his wrist. The tactical communications watch quickly translated the words. Congratulations, you've completed the death mission. Please follow the path in front of you and keep moving forward. Come see me and receive your reward for completing the mission. While the voice was still echoing, the dark brown tree root wall in front of Luo Feng actually swiftly moved aside, forming a 3 to 4 m wide pathway. The pathway was deep, and at the end was a hallucinatory light. That light was the same light that formed the crystal wall. I finally succeeded. Should I receive my reward? Luo Feng turned his head and put on his bag. After that, the soaring shuttle flew up. Go! With a leap, he landed on the soaring shuttle. Whoosh! The soaring shuttle swiftly flew along the path. After passing through the dark path, he quickly arrived at a palace that was covered in a dreamy light. This was a beautiful palace that seemed like the home of a god. The dreamy light flowed around without dissipating. This palace itself was a few dozen meters long and wide, as if it was the size of a gymnasium. See it? Where is it? Luo Feng looked around. It was completely empty. Suddenly, a large amount of light gathered and swiftly formed a blurry, tall human figure. After that, it solidified and became a bald crystal person. Light gathered into a person. Luo Feng was a bit nervous. Everything that happened in the archaeological ruin has already surpassed the technology of humans on Earth. Even a powerful martial artist was not worth mentioning in front of these ancient civilization ruins. Naturally, in front of this crystal person, Luo Feng couldn't help but be nervous. XXXXX, the bald crystal person smiled as he said. Its face was extremely delicate. If it was a human, it would be a very beautiful human. The tactical communications watch on Luo Feng's wrist immediately translated. Hello, Luo Feng. The bald crystal person glanced at the tactical communications watch. Suddenly, a beam of light from the palace instantly shot into the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng couldn't help but to be shocked. The tactical communications watch's screen was rapidly displaying the operation process. This bald crystal person of the archaeological ruin was actually deleting large amounts of translated information for the tactical communications watch. Don't be nervous. A slightly metallic voice came from the bald crystal person's mouth. Chinese? Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the person in front of him. Don't be surprised. I'm monitoring the development of humans on this planet. Your language, culture, and history are all being monitored. Of course, I understand your language, the bald crystal person said with a smile. In order for you to accept it, I'll talk to you in my human form. Luo Feng calmed down. Yes, this ancient civilization had existed for countless years, so it was not strange for them to know the development of Earth like the back of their hands. The technology of you humans is still in its infancy. The bald crystal person continued. I know everything about you guys. That's why I can call out your name, Luo Feng. I called out to you once when you first entered this place. Luo Feng was shocked. Yeah, 1 year and 3 months ago, when the death mission started, it called him elite student Luo Feng. At that time, he thought it was because of the translation software, but now it seems like the archaeological ruin did indeed know his name. Because you activated the death mission, I will directly call you by your name, the bald crystal person said. If you fail the test, you will definitely die. I will not leak this information. If you succeed, you will have the right to enter UNMO planet and become a member of UNMO planet. You will also know that I'm monitoring this planet. UNMO planet? Luo Feng froze. The bald crystal person slightly shook his head. Even if you know, it's the same as not knowing. Now, I'll give you your reward for completing the mission. The bald crystal person waved her hand, and a few items from the depths of the palace flew over with a ray of colorful light. There was a total of 4 items: a black vest, a silver arm guard, a book that glowed with specks of starlight, and a hexagonal metal plate. These 4 items floated in front of the bald crystal person. This first item is what you guys call the Black God set. The bald crystal person pointed at the black vest. The second item, this silver arm guard, is a mini quantum computer. The third item is a manipulator's attack technique, soaring sky. The fourth item is the token to enter UNMO planet. The bald crystal person stroked the last hexagonal metal plate. There were 2 complicated words on it. He sighed. I did this according to Master's procedure. Unfortunately, even if you obtain the UNMO planet token, you won't be able to get UNMO planet's people to pick you up and let you enter UNMO planet. Why? Luo Feng's mind was in a mess. What is this UNMO planet? UNMO planet is a mysterious place in the vast universe. The bald crystal person looked at Luo Feng. Unfortunately, I can't contact UNMO planet anymore. You can't use the token to contact UNMO planet either. According to the procedure of this base, I have to give you this token. However, you won't be able to use it anyway. Luo Feng was shocked. From the sounds of it, this UNMO planet should be a mysterious and powerful force in the universe. A long, long time ago, this ancient civilization ruin was built here to monitor everything on Earth. Usually, only the elite members have the right to enter UNMO planet. However, it seems like this archaeological ruin can't contact UNMO planet anymore. UNMO planet probably met with a disaster. Or perhaps it was destroyed. No matter how strong and mysterious a power was, it would be hard for it to exist forever. The ruins were undamaged and could not be contacted. Of course, there was something wrong with the UNMO planet. The UNMO token is useless. You already know the use of the Black God set. And this I is something that every genetic martial artist and spirit reader would want. It will be of great use to you. Apart from all the functions of your communication watch, it also has many other functions. The most important one is to test the target's strength. Test my strength? Luo Feng was shocked. Wear it, said the bald crystal person, and use your spiritual force to permeate it. As he said that, the silver arm guard flew towards Luo Feng. Yes. Luo Feng first took off the original bracer on his left arm and put on the silver bracer. When a strand of spiritual force seeped into it, the silver bracer quickly fused with his skin. On the surface of the silver bracer, large amounts of pictures and words appeared. They were all in Chinese. The I also has a translation function. The translation software on your tactical communications watch translates a lot of information that will leak the secrets of this place. Therefore, I have already deleted a lot of information that is related to this from your tactical communications watch, including the manipulator's secret knowledge basic 312 style. Luo Feng nodded. So what if I delete it? What's there to be afraid of? He trained hard for 1 year and 3 months and practiced who knows how many times, so he memorized the fundamental 312 forms a long time ago. Press the button on the bottom left of the AI, and pointed at someone to test their strength, said the bald crystal person. And you can also control it with your voice. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked. The so-called button on the bottom left was actually a smooth surface of the mini quantum computer. There were only a few markings on the edges that formed the buttons. Luo Feng slightly pressed the button on the bottom left and pointed the mini quantum computer towards himself. Suddenly, words appeared on the surface of the mini quantum computer. Battle strength, spiritual force, student level 9, genetic energy, student level 9. What's a student level 9? Luo Feng looked towards the bald crystal person. Your identity is already on Yun Mo planet, so you have the right to know this information, said the bald crystal person. In the vast and limitless universe, countless life forms have been born. Most of the life forms are at the student level. The so-called student level, in the words of you people on Earth, means ordinary. Luo Feng froze. Ordinary? I'm considered unimportant? An ordinary person? The student level is split into 9 stages. The first stage is the lowest, and the 9th stage is the highest. The first stage is equivalent to your so-called beginner warrior, and the 9th stage is equivalent to an advanced level war god. The bald crystal person smiled. The strongest person on your planet, Hong, has inherited some of the ancient civilization's technology, so he knows that there are 9 stages. He probably thought that these 9 stages were too ugly, so he called them warrior, warlord, and war god. However, he didn't know that in the vast universe, these stages are called student. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. Above the student level is the star traveler level. Only those who reach the star traveler level have the right to be called genetic fighter or spirit reader. Those who don't reach the star traveler level are just students. They don't have the right to be called genetic fighter or spirit reader. The bald crystal person's words made Luo Feng speechless. He's called an invincible war god, but he doesn't even have the right to be called a spirit reader. The star traveler level is also split into 9 stages. On your Earth, existences surpassing the war god level are the star traveler level fighters, said the bald crystal person. Luo Feng realized, so the high and mighty representatives are all star traveler level fighters. Once you become a star traveler level fighter, you can at least fill your stomach and have a foothold in the universe, the bald crystal person laughed. However, your Earth doesn't have the technology to allow you to wander the universe. How strong are they? Asked Luo Feng. How strong are they? Luo Feng was curious. How strong are the existences surpassing the war god level on Earth, as well as Hong and Thunder God? Most of them are at the star traveler level 1 stage, and a few are at the star traveler level 2 stage. 2 of them are at the star traveler level 3 stage, said the bald crystal person. The strongest, Hong, is at the star traveler level 6 stage, while Thunder God is at the star traveler level 7 stage. The 2 of them are much stronger than the others. Luo Feng froze. Hong is at the star traveler level 6 stage, and Thunder God is at the star traveler level 7 stage? That can't be right. Hong should be stronger than Thunder God. Luo Feng couldn't help but to say. The levels I'm talking about are their bodies, genetic energy, and spiritual force. Not their true battle strength, said the bald crystal person. Hong's body fitness level and genetic energy are indeed weaker than Thunder God's by a bit. However, true battle strength isn't just based on body and genetic energy like you. The bald crystal person looked at Luo Feng. Your spiritual force level is at the student level 9 stage. However, your battle strength is 16 times. Your genetic energy level is at the student level 9 stage, so your battle strength is 5 times. As of now, Luo Feng can control 16 blades at the same time and unleash his strongest battle strength. We're both at the student level 9 stage, but a battle strength of 2 times is the same as a battle strength of 10 times? The bald crystal person looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng's heart jumped. Right? The quantum computer only tested the basics of his body. When he first arrived, his spiritual force could control 6 throwing knives. Now he can control 16. The difference in strength is huge, but he was still at the student level 9 stage during the test. Student level 9, battle strength 16 times, equivalent to the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. Battle strength 4 times, said the bald crystal person. A regular Star Traveler level fighter can unleash 3 to 4 times of their strength. So your current battle strength is comparable to a regular Star Traveler Level 1 stage. In other words, an existence surpassing the War God level. The bald crystal person pointed at the starry instruction manual floating in front of him. However, you still have a manipulator's attack technique, Soaring Sky. This Soaring Sky is how to use a manipulator's weapon, the Soaring Shuttle. You didn't even know how to use the Soaring Shuttle in the past, and actually used it like a normal throwing knife. You've really insulted this manipulator's weapon. What's a manipulator? Asked Luo Feng. The powerful fighters of the universe are mainly divided into genetic fighters and spirit readers. These are 2 main categories. Genetic fighters can be divided into a few categories, and spirit readers can also be divided into a few categories. You're the manipulator of the spirit readers. In your words, you walk the path of controlling objects, Luo Feng realized. Luo Feng realized it seemed like the universe had already formed a perfect system for training. Star Traveler level spirit readers all crave for a spirit weapon. Who would have thought that you would get one? Said the bald crystal person. So you're very lucky. Even though that Hong recognized the treasure, he's not a spirit reader and doesn't know how to use the Soaring Shuttle. That's why he gave it to you. Luo Feng was secretly happy. No wonder Hong didn't want to part with it. He purposely gave it a low price of 30 stars. Even Star Traveler level spirit readers crave for a spirit weapon like this, and Luo Feng actually got one. Without a weapon, how much of my strength can I use? And you have the Soaring Shuttle. Combined with this instruction manual Soaring Sky, you can truly unleash the full potential of the Soaring Shuttle. Without the Soaring Shuttle and instruction manual, your battle strength is comparable to a Star Traveler Level 1. But with them, you'll be like a tiger with wings, and your strength will increase greatly. As for how much you can use, that will depend on how well you can use the Soaring Shuttle, said the bald crystal person. Luo Feng's heart rate sped up. Even though he hasn't broken through to the Star Traveler level, with his powerful battle strength, Soaring Shuttle, and Soaring Sky instruction manual, most existences surpassing the War God level aren't his opponents. Normally, if you can control 12 hidden weapons and unleash their full power, you can break through to the Star Traveler level. However, your talent is very high. Your brain is at 21, so your limit is also higher than normal people. You have to control 16 hidden weapons before you have a chance to break through, said the bald crystal person. You can break through at any time. I've left a method of breaking through in the mini quantum computer. Go back and read it carefully. Luo Feng was excited. No wonder the Crystal House was set to require 16 throwing knives to break through. Turns out that as long as he reaches this level, he can break through to the Star Traveler level at any time. You're the first member of Earth's Mo planet in 5,000 years, said the bald crystal person. So you can't be arrogant. The bald crystal person said, therefore you cannot be arrogant. In terms of battle prowess, Hong is much stronger than you. In terms of realm, he already has his own domain. Within the planetary state, he's invincible. As the first member of Mo planet in 5,000 years, even though you can't enter Mo planet anymore, I still hope that you can surpass them and become the strongest fighter. The bald crystal person looked at Luo Feng. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 191. The bald crystal man was the core AI that controlled the entire archaeological ruin. This wasn't Hong's AI, but a true AI with human intelligence. It even had a bit of human emotions. Its most basic program was to be loyal to Mo planet, so it recognized itself as a member of Mo planet. Mo planet was the headquarters of a powerful force. Only those with true talent, perseverance, and comprehension could enter. Otherwise, even Star Traveler level fighters wouldn't have the right to enter. Luo Feng's talent was high. To be able to complete the exam in 1 year and 3 months meant that he had perseverance and comprehension. Only such a talent had the right to enter Mo planet. It was a pity that Mo planet had a huge problem. After so many years of not being able to contact the core AI, it could guess that Yunmo planet was in trouble. However, it was an AI, so it had to follow its basic program and continue its mission on Earth year after year. It was rare to have a member of Yunmo planet, so its weak emotions hoped that Luo Feng would surpass everyone else on Earth. Okay, I will work hard. Luo Feng nodded. I wonder if there are any Star Traveler level and above. Of course there are. Star Traveler level fighters, when roaming the universe, can only survive. The bald crystal man said, above the Star Traveler level is the Star level. Star level fighters are also split into 9 levels. And above the Star level is the Universe level. Star Traveler level, Star level, Universe level. Luo Feng memorized them. Star Traveler level fighters can fly within planets. Star level fighters, to you Earthlings, have the power to destroy the heavens and Earth. They can fly into space, but only for short distances. They can't survive in space for long periods of time. Universe-level fighters, their bodies can roam in space. Every one of them is a true warrior. To you Earthlings, universe-level fighters are gods that you can't fight against. Even Hong and Thunder God are like ants in front of them. Just a breath of air from them can create a shockwave that can kill Hong. They can battle with interstellar fleets in space. Every one of them is very powerful. To be able to reach the universe level means that you've stepped into the ranks of the universe's strongest. The bald crystal man laughed. Of course, you've only just stepped into the ranks of the universe's strongest. If one is willing to enjoy life, a universe-level warrior can easily own tens of planets and territories, countless beauties, authority, and servants. However, those above the universe level are existences that can intimidate many countries in the universe, said the bald crystal person. Luo Feng held his breath. Countless life forms in the universe are at the apprentice level. Planet levels barely have enough to eat and wear. Star levels are considered powerful. A universe level was indeed an impressive figure. Only one out of countless planets could produce such a universe level. And above the universe level, there were even fewer. Even many countries in the universe have to revere them, the bald crystal person said. Luo Feng was extremely shocked. Countless planets only produced one universe-level warrior? The rarity of the universe levels was obvious. It seemed like Earth wasn't that bad after all. Work hard, Luo Feng. There is hope for you to reach the star level. If you work hard, have luck, meet a great teacher, etc., you still have a sliver of hope to reach the universe level, said the bald crystal person. Luo Feng didn't know to laugh or cry. Does this AI know how to comfort people? He had to work hard, be lucky, have a good teacher, etc. Only then would he have a sliver of hope. It was basically saying, Luo Feng, you have a 1 in a billion chance of reaching the universe level. Actually, the bald crystal person couldn't be blamed. Countless planets only produced one universe-level warrior. Even though Luo Feng's talent was high in the vast universe, the number of life forms was incalculable. There were trillions of people with more talent than Luo Feng, and even more perseverance than Luo Feng. To reach the universe level, the chances were indeed very, very low. That was an existence that could fight with interstellar battleships. Incomparably strong. How is this encouragement? It's a blow to my confidence. Luo Feng said helplessly. Go on. Earth is your home. Work hard. And if one day you'll be able to reach the Earth, if one day this place is discovered by a few countries in the universe, the stronger you become, the better off you will be in the future, even helping your home country. After saying that, the bald crystal person dissipated, becoming countless beams of light. The pathway has been opened. You can leave and return home. Return home. Luo Feng's heart pounded. The walls of the palace wriggled, forming a pathway with large amounts of dark brown tree roots. At the end of the pathway was a mirror that was emitting light. Back then, he stepped into the mirror and entered the archaeological ruins. I could finally go back. Mom, Dad, Sukeksen. Luo Feng put the soaring shuttle and other items into his backpack and then walked along the pathway towards the mirror. After that, he stepped out of the mirror. Archaeological Ruin Number 9, Underground Base. This base was built by all the forces on Earth. Whether it's the 5 great countries, the 2 dojos, or the HR Alliance, they all have the right to send people into Archaeological Ruin Number 9. Many of the members here came from different forces. Zhang Qian, who was wearing a white robe, stretched in front of the computer. How boring. Sigh. This novel hasn't been updated yet. The members of this underground base indeed didn't have much to do. Other than the normal operations of the base, they were receiving war gods and contacting their own forces. Other than a few laptops for work, there were also many entertainment computers here. I can get off work after playing some games. Zhang Qian suddenly froze. Crack, crack, crack. Zhang Qian fiercely turned her head. Close to 100 members in the entire base's lobby all turned their heads towards that door. That was the door to Archaeological Ruin Number 9. If it wasn't opened by someone, then unless a war god walked out, the door's sensing system would automatically open the door. Someone came out? That can't be right. This year's batch of war gods all came out 2 months ago. A batch of war gods was indeed sent in on September 29th, 2058. However, the latest one came out on October 25th. Right now, it's already December 26th. Ever since the translation software came out, no one has been able to stay in there for 3 months before coming out. Damn, someone stayed in there for 3 months before coming out. OMG. Holy God. All of the workers stood up and looked towards the slowly opening door. They wanted to see which war god was able to stay in there for 3 months before coming out. Half of the tunnel was already opened, and a completely black person walked out with large strides. This is a black person? Everyone froze as they looked at the person in front of them. The person in front of them had a big beard and was dirty. At first glance, they really did think that he was a black person. A light swept across Luo Feng. Welcome back, War God Luo Feng. An electronic sound came from the underground base's control system. Luo Feng. It's Luo Feng. Holy, 1 year and 3 months. Luo Feng's still alive. The entire lobby was in an uproar. Back then, Luo Feng's death caused a huge commotion. Even the head of the dojo of limits, Hong, placed great importance on this matter. Many people didn't believe that Luo Feng would die. However, who would have thought that after 1 year and 3 months, Luo Feng would come out of the archaeological ruin? Welcome, War God Luo Feng. Someone immediately came up to greet him. However, most of the people in the lobby went into a frenzy. Holy! He was actually able to stay in Archaeological Ruin Number 9 for 1 year and 3 months before coming out. Ever since the translation software came out, the longest time anyone stayed was 1.5 months. How could this happen? Report, Luo Feng has returned. Report, China's war god, Luo Feng has returned. Many members in the underground base immediately carried out their duties and started to inform their own organizations of this news. This is definitely an earth-shattering piece of news. The absolute genius back then, an invincible war god. He unbelievably stayed in the archaeological ruin for 1 year and 3 months. Dojo of Limit's world headquarters, inside the gigantic spaceship, in the spacious room on the top floor. The black-clothed man, Hong, held a spear in his hand. He closed his eyes and silently stood there. After that, he slowly started to perform one technique after another. The speed of his technique was extremely slow, but the strange thing was that the surrounding space seemed to be warped. The spear became blurry and couldn't be seen clearly. Bang, 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 an anxious knocking sound came from the outside. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly frowned. No one is allowed to disturb him while he's training. Only the 5 great investigators and 3 royal guards can come to his place at this time. Others don't have the authority to come here. However, none of the 8 people under him are idiots. Unless something extremely important happens, they won't disturb him. Come in, the black-clothed man, Hong, coldly said. The door automatically opened. 3 people actually walked in from outside. They were the 2 bodyguards wearing black robes and golden masks, as well as Inspector Liu. What's up? Hong was shocked. Surprisingly, there were 3 people who came together. Head. Investigator Liu had a bit of excitement on his face as he said, Luo Feng came out what Hong froze. The tall and sturdy royal guard on the side said quietly, "Head, Luo Feng, who stayed in archaeological ruin number 9 for a year and 3 months, came out alive." Even Hong was a bit shocked. That's unbelievable. 1 year and 3 months. And he stayed in an archaeological ruin that even he doesn't understand. Luo Feng must have some special gains for such a long time. Let's go now. I'll personally go and welcome our dojo's war god, Luo Feng. The black-clothed man, Hong, let out a happy smile. The 5 great countries, the 2 great dojos, and the HR Alliance received this news at practically the same time. All the powers were shocked. The archaeological ruin is something that Earth's technology can't understand. Luo Feng actually stayed in there for a year and 3 months with the help of the translation software. There must be some special circumstances. Jiangnan headquarters city, Jiangnan Mountain Water Sector, inside the villa on top of Huayao Peak. Luo Hua, you sure are powerful. You can even keep your dad alive like this. Li Yao sat on the sofa and held a glass of red wine as his eyes flashed with a fierce light. Whoosh! A silhouette charged into the lobby like lightning. It was Vanina, who had long golden hair. What's the rush? Li Yao frowned as he took a sip of the red wine and closed his eyes in enjoyment. Luo Feng's back, Vanina hurriedly said. He came out of archaeological ruin #9. Li Yao, who was originally enjoying himself with his eyes closed, widened his eyes in disbelief. The wine glass in his hand slipped from his fingers. Ha! It smashed onto the ground and shattered. The red wine spilled all over the ground like fresh blood. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 192. Humanity's underground base beside archaeological ruin number 9. War God Luo Feng. Here's some clean clothes. War God Luo Feng. Do you need anything else? The black Luo Feng glanced at the 2 girls at the door and waved his hand. No need. With a pa sound, he closed the door. I haven't had a proper bath in a year and 3 months. Luo Feng swiftly took off his battle uniform and clothes, rushed to the bathroom, and entered the bathtub. The hot water in the bathtub was continuously flowing. After Luo Feng entered, the water in the bathtub swiftly turned black. There's no helping it. The water in the ruins can only be used for drinking. Want to take a bath? Dream on. Luo Feng laid in the bathtub as the hot water washed his body. He couldn't help but use his mini quantum computer to make a call. The mini quantum computer already copied all the phone numbers in his tactical communications watch. It's been a year. I wonder how Mom and Dad are doing. Are they okay? Actually, Luo Feng wanted to make a call as soon as he left the archaeological ruin. However, he was surrounded by a large amount of workers at the base, so he could only find room to take a bath first. Beep, beep, beep. The call connected. Jiangnan headquarters city, Yangzhou City, Mingyue sector. In a quiet room, Luo Hongguo was laying on the bed with a pale face. There was a 4 beside him, clearly on 4. There were 2 nurses in the room. It's Luo Feng. It's Luo Feng. The phone rang. Luo Hongguo, who originally had his eyes closed with a pale face, instantly opened his eyes wide. He fiercely turned his head and looked at the phone on the bedside table. Without thinking too much, Luo Hongguo tried his best to flip over and grab the phone with his left hand. This scene scared the 2 nurses. One of them said, "Mr. Luo, you can't move your waist. Let me do it, no problem." As if Luo Hongguo had infinite strength. His waist hurt as if it was someone else's waist, and he swiftly grabbed the phone. Looking at the display, Luo Hongguo couldn't believe it. It's really Feng. Who's calling? Is it Feng? Keep in mind that the Dojo of Limits already confirmed Luo Feng's death. Luo Feng's parents didn't know that Luo Feng was in archaeological ruin number 9, so they always thought that the Dojo of Limits had 100% proof of his death. After taking a deep breath, Luo Hongguo answered. Beep. Hey. Luo Hongguo's voice was hoarse, low, and carried a trace of nervousness as well as a trace of anticipation. It was like holding a piece of tofu, worried that it would break at any moment. Dad, it's me. That voice full of vigor and strength. That voice that had resounded countless times in Luo Hongguo's dreams. That voice that he couldn't be more familiar with made Luo Hongguo's eyes widen instantly. Luo Hong's hands trembled. It's little phone, is that you? It's me, Dad, said Luo Feng. Why aren't you video calling me? Let me see you. Luo Hongwa hastily said. He was afraid that someone was deliberately teasing him. After all, with the current technology, it was not difficult to imitate a person's voice. Dad, I'm showering, and I have a big beard on my face. Luo Feng was a bit embarrassed. Beep. The video started. Luo Hong stared at the phone screen carefully. In the faint heat of the bathroom, there was a figure with long, wet hair and a big beard. However, the shape of the face, especially the eyes, made Luo Hong's eyes light up. In the video, a blade flew up and swiftly scraped across Luo Feng's face. The big beard was swiftly shaved off, and a handsome young man appeared. It was Luo Feng, the son that Luo Hong raised for 20 years. Little Feng, you didn't die. Great, great. Luo Hong's eyes were filled with tears. Luo Hong's eyes suddenly became moist. During this period of time, the husband and wife were indeed extremely sad because of their eldest son. Dad, sorry, I was trapped in a place and couldn't get out. I just got out. Right now, I'm in South America. In a few hours, I'll be home, said Luo Feng. Okay, don't rush. Your matter is more important, said Luo Hongwa. Suddenly, the door to the room opened. Luo Hua, wearing a cotton sweater, was holding a cup of milk that he just made and walked in. Don't worry, Dad. Everything's been taken care of. I'll be back soon. Is everything okay at home? The voice from the phone made Luo Hua, who was holding the cup of milk, freeze. Bro! Luo Hua opened his eyes wide in disbelief and almost started crying. The two nurses on the side were shocked. They clearly knew how powerful this Mr. Luo Hua was. He was the 8th largest shareholder of China's largest bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. His assets exceeded 100 billion. The people that go in and out of his home are all powerful people in politics and business, as well as people from the country's special forces. Even they were sent by the country's special forces to take care of Luo Hua's father. How could such a powerful person cry all of a sudden? It's okay. Everything's okay at home. Everything's okay when you come back, said Luo Hongwa. Okay, I'll be back soon. The phone hung up. Luo Hua walked to his father and said in disbelief, Dad, bro called? Bro didn't die? He'll be home in a few hours, said Luo Hongwa. Ha ha ha. Luo Hua seemed to be crying and laughing. I knew that bro would be fine. He would be fine. Ever since he was young, Luo Feng was like a towering tree that protected him. He even became a fighter to earn money so that he could stand up again. Luo Hua was very grateful to his brother. In his life, his brother was extremely important. When news of Luo Feng's death came, his parents were sad, and so was Luo Hua. However, he had to support this family. Before he was 20 years old, he had to fight with Li Yao and deal with all kind of old foxes. Luo Hua was indeed very, very tired. In a cafe in Kyoto headquarters city, Su Xin was sitting on the sofa in the cafe. In front of her was an ultra-thin laptop. On the laptop was a photo of her and Luo Feng. In the photo, Luo Feng was smiling exaggeratedly like a big kid. Su Xin tapped on the screen and opened a folder. Holding a cup of hot coffee, Su Xin silently looked at the photos in the folder. Hello, can I borrow your phone? Smiled a handsome young man as he walked over. Su Xin glanced at him with a cold gaze. After that, she looked back at the laptop and didn't say anything. The handsome young man slightly frowned. However, when he saw the photo on the laptop, which was taken by Su Xin and Luo Feng on top of an extremely tall building in the wilderness, the handsome young man turned around and left. He couldn't help but to curse in his heart. Damn, she already has a boyfriend. Even the cabbage gets eaten by a pig. That's not right. The background of the photo seems to be a deserted city and monsters. A couple taking a couple's photo in a city in the wilderness? I saw wrong. The handsome young man couldn't believe it. And at this time, a sad music sounded. This made the handsome young man turn his head in confusion. Such as sad music as a ringtone. Su Xin, who was on the sofa, trembled. This music was a ringtone she specially set for Luo Feng's number. She took out her phone and answered. Su Xin, It's me. In an instant, the layer of ice that sealed Su Xian's heart melted. Exit of the underground headquarters. Luo Feng, who was wearing a black casual shirt and carrying an enormous backpack, smiled as he looked at the two flowing lights in the sky. After making the two calls, Luo Feng relaxed quite a bit. The one flying in front of the two flowing lights was Luo Feng's Emperor-level auto jet. After leaving the archaeological ruin, Luo Feng ordered the auto jet. The auto jet immediately flew over. That's... Luo Feng looked at the blood-red, triangular fighter jet beside him. The two fighter jets landed at the same time. The cabin door opened and a flight of stairs extended out. The black-clothed Hong was the first to walk out. Following behind him was a personal guard, Yao Rao, and an inspector, Lu Ha. Head Luo Feng slightly bowed. Good, you didn't disappoint me. The black-clothed man Hong directly walked in front of Luo Feng. His eyes seemed to see through Luo Feng. And I can feel that you're different from before, Luo Feng. You must have gained quite a bit in this 1 year and 3 months. Let's go. We'll talk after we board. Yes, Luo Feng was very clear on the head strength. Star Traveler level 6 stage. However, because he has a domain, even Star Traveler level 9 stage fighters aren't his match. He's invincible within the Star Traveler level. The difference between the Star Traveler level 1 representatives and the head strength. Just like the difference between a beginner-level warrior and an invincible war god. And the difference between him and the head was indeed very, very large. The prehistoric level auto jet was in front, the Emperor level auto jet followed behind. And within the prehistoric level auto jet, the black-clothed man Hong, Luo Feng, Allure, and Lu Ha sat in a circle of seats. Luo Feng, you have a translation software. So how did you stay in archaeological ruin number 9 for 1 year and 3 months? The black-clothed man Hong looked at Luo Feng. Did you discover some of the mysteries of archaeological ruin number 9? As the number 1 person on Earth, he received a few inheritances of archaeological ruins, so there are very few things that can pique his curiosity. And archaeological ruin number 9 is one of them. Yes, Luo Feng nodded. What mysteries can you tell me? The black-clothed man Hong looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was very clear that the bald crystal person deleted all the information from his tactical communications watch because he didn't want the humans on Earth to know its mysteries. Only the members of the Yin Mo planet have the right to know. Because my brain expanse is relatively high, I triggered a special death mission, said Luo Feng half-truthfully. Death mission? Everyone was a bit shocked. The black-clothed man Hong asked, is the reward the same as the other war gods? There should be a difference in the past. Everyone who entered archaeological ruin number 9 and succeeded received a black god set. There is a difference. Not only did I receive a black god set, but I also received a spirit reader training method, said Luo Feng. Oh. The black-clothed man Hong was a bit disappointed. He's a fighter. He has to put all his energy into his martial path. As of now, according to Hong's understanding of the universe, even though he is a Star Traveler level 6, his level in the martial path is extremely high. Many star-level fighters don't even have their own domain. With a domain, he is invincible within the Star Traveler level. With such a high level in the martial path, he naturally won't waste time training his spiritual force. Archaeological ruin number 9, within the dark brown maze. The bald crystal person whose body was faintly glowing walked step by step. Luo Feng indeed didn't talk about what happened in the ruins. The bald crystal person had a bit of a human's melancholy as he sighed. Master, it's been 50,000 years. I haven't been able to contact you for 50,000 years. Even though 50,000 years have passed, as a brain, it can only follow the most basic program and filter out war gods. P.S. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 193. The Emperor-level auto jet and the prehistoric level auto jet were both floating in midair. Luo Feng took out a black god set from the Emperor-level auto jet, stepped on the soaring shuttle, and flew into the prehistoric level auto jet. Head. The black god set Luo Feng put on the seat. Okay, the black-clothed man, Hong, slightly nodded. Hong didn't know whether to laugh or cry. because the AIs of the auto jet he sold were all simple AIs that listened to Hong's orders. If Hong ordered the auto jet to listen to Luo Feng, then the auto jet would naturally listen. And if Luo Feng and Hong both gave orders, then the auto jet would actually listen to the highest authority, Hong. The news of Luo Feng's death spread. Hong put away his auto jet and the black god set, and after knowing that Luo Feng came out, Hong hurriedly put the black god set back. Holy shit, when has he, Hong, ever lost face like this? Good thing no one knows about this. Luo Feng, let's split up here, said the black-clothed man, Hong. Yes, head. Luo Feng didn't care about anything else. After saying goodbye to the other two existences surpassing the war god level, he stepped on the soaring shuttle and entered his own auto jet. Number 1. Go home, ordered Luo Feng. Whoosh! The dark blue auto jet instantly rose to 10 times the speed of sound and headed towards China's Jiangnan headquarters city, Yangzhou City. The sky was gray and there was no sunlight. The cold wind howled and blew up the fallen leaves. Many children and teenagers in the Mingyue precinct ignored the cold and went through some physical strength training, agility training, and saber techniques training in the cold wind. The Mingyue precinct had a strong martial culture. There were many parents standing around, and some of them were martial artists giving pointers to these children. Look, a fighter jet. It's dark blue. It looks like war god Luo Feng's. Yes, it looks exactly the same. Quite a few people in the sector raised their heads in shock. A dark blue triangular fighter jet was descending and landing on the grass. Hwah! The hatch opened. A youth wearing a simple black shirt and carrying a gigantic backpack swiftly ran towards a villa. Many adults and children in the sector who were watching from afar were stunned as they looked at that youth. Luo Feng. It's Luo Feng? What the hell? Didn't the dojo of limits announce his death? Our headquarters city's dojo is still holding a memorial. Many people were completely dumbfounded. Brother Chun, see you later, Luo Feng, who was running, and Chun Gu, who was a bit stunned, smiled. Luo. Chun Gu looked at Luo Feng in shock. He pointed at Luo Feng, speechless. At the memorial, the members of the Firehammer squad were all heartbroken. Damn it, I'm alive again? Today, Mingyue District was destined to be bustling with activity. Today, Jiangnan City was also destined to be bustling with activity. Luo Feng's house courtyard. His younger brother Luo Hua and Mother Gong Xianlan were standing there. Beside them were a few bodyguards and servants. Little Feng, Gong Xianlan shouted. Mom! Luo Feng ran over. Compared to a year ago, his mother had obviously aged quite a bit. Luo Feng couldn't help but to glance at Luo Hua and say quietly, What's going on? You didn't make the 1,000-year black crow root into wine and are letting Mom and Dad drink it? Luo Feng already told his brother to make wine with his parents and brother. Back then, Luo Hua and his parents had said that they weren't in a hurry. They wanted to see if they could find other relatives so that they could get a share. Brother. Luo Hua shook her head. I'll tell you later. Where's Dad? Luo Feng was confused. After not seeing him for over a year, his father would have come out a long time ago. Your dad is in the house. Gong Xianlan pulled his son's hand and walked into the house. In a quiet room, his father, Luo Honghua, was lying on the bed. When Luo Feng pushed open the door and entered, Luo Hong's eyes were filled with excitement like never before. The son he thought he lost forever has returned and is standing in front of him. Luo Honghua even wanted to get up from the bed. Mr. Luo, you can't move. Be careful of your waist. The two nurses on the side were so scared that they ran over. Dad, what's wrong? Luo Feng's face immediately changed. He sat on the side of the bed and held his father's hand. He frowned deeply. Dad, something's wrong. Your face is bleeding. How come you can't get up? It's nothing. The doctor said that I'll be fine after resting for a year or so. Luo Hong revealed a smile. It was a smile that came from the depths of his heart. Dad, to be able to see you, it doesn't matter how serious my injuries are. Today, I'm really happy. Very, very happy. As he spoke, there were tears of joy in the corner of his eyes. Luo Feng nodded. However, there was a bit of anger and confusion in his heart. Something's wrong. Luo Hua, what's going on? Luo Feng looked towards his brother. All of you leave. Luo Hua waved his hand towards the two nurses. The two nurses swiftly left, leaving only the Luo family of four in the room. Luo Hua looked at his brother. Brother, I'm useless. You can't blame your brother. Luo Honghua, who was lying on the bed, raised his hand to stop him. Feng, during this period of time, especially after the Dojo of Limits announced your death, our family hasn't been at peace. They've used all sorts of methods to deal with our family. They've even used some of the residents in the sector. Your mom can only sleep with sleeping pills during this period of time. Luo Hua's face was green. He clenched his fists tightly, and his eyes were like needles. Luo Feng looked towards his brother and said in a low voice, Tell me. It's Liao. Luo Hua took in a deep breath. Since 3 months ago, Liao has been using all sorts of methods to deal with our family through the HR Alliance. Even though he doesn't dare to directly kill the family members of the Dojo of Limits fighters. However, some methods are even more painful than killing without killing. I can only try my best. I even used the 1,000-year Black Crow route to contact an important person through your friend, Commander Li Dawei, and had him transfer me 120 billion worth of ICBC shares. Only after I became the 8th largest shareholder of ICBC can I use the special forces of the country to protect our family. However, Liao hasn't given up on taking revenge on us. Psychological, physical, sinister, dirty. He's using all sorts of methods. Luo Hua shook his head. Right now, Mom and Dad can only stay at home. I have no other choice. Dad got into a car accident last time. Luckily, he had bodyguards to protect him, or else he would have died. Luo Feng's face became uglier and uglier as he listened. Chi-Chi, the steel on the edge of the bed in his left hand, was crushed into powder. Hee. Luo Feng's face was green. This Liao is so shameless. It's all my fault. After Liao hid in Europe, he was too lazy to care about him after he became famous. However, he didn't think that Liao would immediately come to take revenge on his family after his death was confirmed. Thankfully, his family has the status of family members of the Dojo of Limits fighters, so Liao didn't dare to do anything himself. If his brother was just a bit weaker, then... Bastard, Luo Feng's body was shaking. Rage rose from the bottom of his heart, and his guts grew. His killing intent couldn't be suppressed. A few minutes later, after comforting his parents, Luo Feng went to the training hall upstairs. I made a mistake once, but I won't make a second mistake. Luo Feng rubbed the cold, dense blades on the soaring shuttle. His gaze was like a blade that made people's hearts palpitate. Liao, you think I won't dare to touch you just because you hide in the headquarters city? Indeed, there are laws that prohibit killing in the headquarters city. And killing a war god in the headquarters city is an even bigger deal. However, Luo Feng understood very well that the so-called laws are used by the country, and now that his true strength is comparable to the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. Once he seriously studies Soaring Sky, the power of the soaring shuttle will be even stronger. Stronger than normal representatives. An existence surpassing the war god level, killing a war god. Maybe some people will get angry, but the consequences won't be too severe. Luo Feng can handle it. Beep! Luo Feng looked towards the mini quantum computer and activated the Palace of War Gods sharing system. Back then, Liao and his wife relied on this system to locate Wang Tong and the other war gods. This is a system installed in the Palace of War Gods to allow war gods to help each other in times of danger. And today, Luo Feng used it to find Liao. Oh, he's still in Jiangnan headquarters city. The glass window above the training hall opened. Whoosh! Stepping on the soaring shuttle, Luo Feng, dressed in black, swiftly rushed towards the sky. He turned into a curve as he charged towards the auto jet. Voila! The hatch automatically opened. Golden net. Luo Feng looked into the cabin, and his spiritual force directly grabbed the golden net like an invisible hand. Luo Feng looked towards the southwest direction with a gaze like a blade. Liao. Jiangnan headquarters city's HR Alliance Market Building, 32nd floor. Liao and his wife, Vanina, were currently talking with the person in charge of the HR Alliance Market. There's still 3 more hours before the plane takes off. Vanina lowered her head and looked at her watch. Don't rush, said Li Yao indifferently. What are you panicking about? Then Luo Feng is about to come back, frowned Vanina. I told you before, we'll take the fighter jet back to Europe. Isn't that great? Fighter jet? Li Yao shook his head. That fighter jet, that's only worth around 10 billion? It's fine to fly short distances around a headquarters city, but if it's a long-distance flight, it'll take a long time to fly to an area where there aren't many people or in the ocean. If an accident happens, those who dare to fly long distances usually use a passenger jet or an auto jet or an extremely high-level disc-shaped fighter jet that's worth around 50 billion. What's more, this is a headquarters city. Are you afraid of Luo Feng messing around? Sneered Li Yao. HM? Li Yao froze and looked outside the glass window. Look outside? Mr. Zhu was shocked. In midair, a black shadow stepped on the soaring shuttle and directly flew towards the glass like a black bolt of lightning. It's Luo Feng, exclaimed Vanina. Luo Feng. Li Yao's entire body was instantly protected by a black membrane, forming a black battle uniform and a black helmet. Only his eyes were exposed. Boom! The glass was smashed open. Luo Feng, don't you dare! Li Yao roared. At the same time, he ferociously smashed into the glass on the side and directly jumped into the air. From Li Yao's point of view, Luo Feng wouldn't dare to act recklessly in midair since he would be easily captured by the various surveillance devices in the headquarters city. Luo Feng swiftly pierced through. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Streams of light instantly shot out. A total of 16 streams of light were like 16 roaring flood dragons. The intense sonic booms caused the floor of the entire luxurious hall to shatter. Mr. Zhu hurriedly rolled to a corner. Luo Feng's eyes, which seemed to be burning with flames, were only staring at Li Yao. The 16 streams of light moved in a curved path. They were so fast that Li Yao couldn't dodge. They all landed on Li Yao's body at the same time. Throwing knives? A bit of disdain flashed across Li Yao's eyes. Boom! An unbelievable and terrifying force instantly passed through the Black God's set. Even after being weakened by 90%, this unbelievable force was still frighteningly powerful. If a single blade has an impact of over 500,000 kilograms, then 16 throwing knives have an impact of over 8 million kilograms. Even after being weakened by 90%, there's still over 800,000 kilograms left. In other words, Li Yao used his defenseless body to take on an impact of over 800,000 kilograms. Back when Luo Feng was in archaeological ruin number 9 and faced the mysterious black, clothed man's attack, Luo Feng used a shield to deflect most of the impact and even got his arm fractured. Just the shield alone was able to deflect half of the impact. His arm fractured as well, so only 300,000 to 400,000 kilograms of impact remained on Luo Feng's body. However, that was still enough to make Luo Feng spit out blood in pain. And for Li Yao, it's an impact of over 800,000 kilograms. Under normal circumstances, Li Yao would be shaken to death. Thankfully, the Black God set dispersed the impact to every part of his body. Plus, he's at the peak of the advanced level War God level, so his body fitness level is much stronger than Luo Feng's when he first entered archaeological ruin number 9. Pu, Pu, Pu. In midair, Li Yao's face was completely red. Fresh blood crazily sprayed out of his mouth like a fountain. Just this terrifying impact, just this one time, Li Yao lost most of his fighting ability. Impossible, impossible, Li Yao roared his heart. I'm at the peak of the advanced level War God level, and with the Black God set, even the representatives who surpass the War God level can, at most, injure me in one attack. There are very, very few counselors who can kill me in one go. But Luo Feng, could he have broken through and become an existence surpassing the War God level? War Gods all know that a peak of the advanced level War God level with the Black God set can't be killed by someone of the same level. Even the representatives have a hard time killing him in one attack. There were a lot of people on the streets beside the plaza below the HR Alliance market. Quite a few tourists were even taking pictures beside the plaza. rumble. As if a cannonball had fiercely smashed into the plaza, some of the stone slabs on the plaza instantly exploded. The patrolling army was in a state of panic. The tourists who were taking pictures beside the plaza also screamed in fear. Some of the flying rocks even hit people. The pedestrians on the sidewalk screamed in fear. Some of the rocks even flew onto the street. The cars on the street instantly stopped and were blocked. Quite a few drivers furiously honked their car horns. Holy! A large amount of pedestrians stared at the plaza. They saw a youth wearing a black casual shirt standing on a soaring shuttle. He was actually floating in midair. And from the large hole in the plaza, a figure completely covered in black dashed out like lightning. The youth standing on the soaring shuttle had a cold gaze as he waved his left hand. The golden net formed into a ball and his left hand instantly struck Li Yao like lightning. It then automatically expanded and bound him, just like a pig waiting to be slaughtered. P.S. 2 chapters complete. Summon that. Monthly votes, recommendation votes. If it feels good, then just smash them. Chapter 194. The stone slabs on the plaza shattered and rocks flew everywhere. Golden net. When the golden net came, Li Yao, who was already like a stray dog, had a huge change in expression. He fiercely roared, "Open for me." Li Yao's black arms suddenly expanded to 3 to 4 meters long. He tried to grab the 2 ends of the golden net and break it open. The moment the golden net bound him, the ropes at the edges of the golden net quickly fastened themselves as if a pair of hands were tying the ropes. Li Yao's instantaneous burst of strength exceeded 1,000,000 kg. Even though the golden net was taut, Li Yao couldn't break it. He was completely tied up, so how could he break free from it? This was left behind by the Emperor-level monster, the Black Widow Spider King, to trap Emperor-level monsters. Even an Emperor-level monster would have to spend a lot of effort to break free. So how could Li Yao break free? Not good. Li Yao, who couldn't break free, saw Luo Feng's murderous eyes and the 16 flowing lights from the corner of his eyes. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 16 flowing lights were like 16 dragons roaring as they charged towards Li Yao. I can't die, Li Yao roared in his heart. Chi. At this critical moment, Li Yao, who was tied up and unable to struggle free, did only one thing. His black legs actually extended, lengthened, and thinned until they were only half as thick as before. His slender black legs passed through the holes in the golden net and stepped on the ground of the square. Li Yao suddenly had 2 slender black legs that were 2 meters long. Boom! The 16 flowing lights once again landed on Li Yao's body. Li Yao clenched his teeth as his eyes turned red. I can't die, I can't die. The terrifying impact of over 8,000,000 kilograms hit his body. Even though it was weakened by the Black God set, Li Yao still couldn't help but spit out blood. His organs felt like they were about to shatter, but his strong willpower allowed him to hold on. Whoosh! Borrowing the powerful impact of the 16 razor blades, Li Yao's slender black legs fiercely stomped on the ground. His speed was already fast enough, and with the addition of the impact of the 16 blades, he flew out like a black meteor, smashing a sculpture on the square into pieces. His slender black legs stepped on the ground and instantly changed direction, rushing into the crowd on the side of the street. Still not dead, Luo Feng's gaze turned cold as he stood on the soaring shuttle. Crazy, Luo Feng is crazy. He actually dares to openly chase after me in a place like the HR Alliance Market Plaza in a headquarters city. Crazy, he simply didn't want to live anymore. As long as I can grab a large group of ordinary people and use them as my shields, I will still have a chance of survival. Li Yao crazily dashed towards the street through the 2 black slender legs that extended from the Black God set. The sidewalks were filled with people, and many people got out of the cars that were jammed in traffic. Thousands of people were staring at them, and all of them seemed to be very excited. Luo Feng's pursuit of Li Yao was as fast as lightning. Before many people could react, Li Yao was already rushing toward them. What the hell? Li Yao, who was completely black and had slender legs that were nearly 2 meters long, was indeed strange and scary. His lightning-like charge caused many people to panic. And at this time, Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, instantly increased his speed to over 1,300 meters per second. With a horrifying sonic boom, he directly landed in front of Liao. You can't escape. Luo Feng stood in front of Liao, and the 16 throwing knives hovered in front of him as he coldly looked at Liao. Luo Feng, you can't kill me, roared Liao, but fresh blood kept flowing out of the corner of his mouth. Luo Feng's 2 attacks caused Liao to be severely injured. He was only able to run because of his desire to live. Luo Feng laughed coldly. Suddenly, Luo Feng's expression slightly changed. On the street filled with people and cars, a blonde-haired girl slightly raised a small device towards Luo Feng and let out a strange smile. Luo Feng, let go of my husband. Vanina? Luo Feng slightly frowned. With a thought, he controlled the golden net to hover, causing Liao's entire body to hover in midair like a tied-up pig, with no way to escape. In midair, Liao couldn't use any force to escape, which made it even harder. Vanina, yelled Liao in the golden net. Why should I let go of your husband? Luo Feng calmly looked at Vanina. His intuition told him that if he directly killed Liao, it would lead to terrible consequences. Luo Feng never really cared about this Vanina in front of him. In Luo Feng's heart, Liao was the mastermind. However, Luo Feng didn't know Vanina was the one who put up the astronomical bounty. The laser cannon used to kill Luo Feng in the continent of Australia was also obtained by Vanina. Even the plan to kill Luo Feng's family was suggested by Vanina. Liao was nicknamed Vulture because many people who knew him used this nickname to show his ferocity. And Vanina's nickname, Scorpion, is because of her savagery. A dog that bites doesn't bark. Luo Feng didn't know that the one with the most meticulous thoughts and savagery like a snake or scorpion was this woman. Standing in the crowd, Vanina looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, Vanina held a small device. I've placed T-111 bombs in a residential sector beside the HR Alliance and on this street. As long as I press this button, the surrounding crowd went into an uproar. Many people started screaming and ran around. With a pung sound, the tens of thousands of people in that sector will all die. Vanina's voice was like a demon from hell as it echoed in everyone's ears. Fear, panic, and Luo Feng's eyes slightly focused. They were like needles as he stared at the woman in front of him. You sure are ruthless, said Luo Feng lightly. You want to kill my husband, so let's all die together. Vanina's voice was soft. Vanina's voice was gentle. Actually, Vanina had no choice. She and her husband had offended too many people in the past. Luckily, Liao had risked his life to enter archaeological ruin number 9 and obtain the Black God set. That way, they could live a peaceful life. If her shield, Liao, dies, then Vanina's life will be terrible. Everyone stop. Everyone stop. Put down your weapons. The army station not too far away from the HR Alliance market swiftly rushed over. The government's personnel also quickly rushed over. The leader was a middle-aged man wearing a traditional Chinese suit. This middle-aged man cursed in his heart. Fuck, 3 advanced-level war gods fighting. If they want to fight, then let them fight. But why do they have to involve normal people? Tens of thousands of people could die at any time. The power of the T-111 bomb is extremely shocking. You 3-inch, war god Luo Feng. Madam Vanina, let's talk this out. This middle-aged man squeezed out a smile, afraid of offending either side. Even though his position is higher, the people in front of him are all advanced-level war gods. I advise you not to look for the T-111 bomb. Vanina glared at the middle-aged man. It'll be hard for you to find the bomb I placed. Even if you find it, you should know how hard it is to dismantle it. Once you start dismantling it, I'll know, and I'll press the button. Cold sweat seeped out of the middle-aged man's forehead. He hates messing with people with power and influence like this. Advanced-level war god and the CEO of the HR Alliance's China sector. Once he commits a crime, he'll be hard to deal with. Luo Feng. Vanina stared deadly at Luo Feng. Or my wife and I will die together with the tens of thousands of innocent people in Huaxia. Vanina's voice resounded beside Luo Feng's ear. Or if you let my husband go, everyone will be better off. The choice is in your hands. Luo Feng's face was expressionless. Only his gaze was getting colder. War god Luo Feng. Lady Vanina. The middle-aged man in the Tang suit began to panic. He thought to himself, why isn't Mr. Lon here yet? Who? The temperature in the HR Alliance's plaza began to drop. It was already winter, but it suddenly dropped below zero. The water in the fountain instantly froze, and waves of cold air began to spread. A middle-aged man with faintly green hair flew over from the sky. Representative Lon, Vanina, Liao, and Luo Feng all recognized him. Even if you have a grudge, don't drag ordinary people into it. Representative Lan's entire body was like a 1,000-year-old glacier, his gaze chilling. Counselor Lon. Vanina shook her head. There's nothing I can do. This Luo Feng wanted to kill my husband in the headquarters city. There's nothing I can do. I'm no match for him, so I can only choose this path. If my husband dies, then let those tens of thousands of innocent people be buried with him. What's more, the choice is in Luo Feng's hands. As long as he lets go of my husband, everyone will be better off. There were a total of 52 members of parliament on Earth. There are over 10 existences surpassing the war god level with Chinese blood. Even though only 3 to 4 of them are completely loyal to the country, many of them live like hermits within the country. They would also occasionally help the military, help the country, and help the HR Alliance. In short, they could benefit from both sides and live peacefully as hermits. Iceblade, Lan Ran, was one of them who lived in seclusion in Jiangnan Bay City. Lan Ran would only make a move when something big happened. And this time, Lan Ran had to make a move. Luo Feng, Representative Lan, floated in front of Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you should know the laws of the country and the rules of the Palace of War Gods. There are a few bottom lines in the War God Palace's rules that no one is allowed to touch. Killing the family members of the dojo is one of them. Killing warriors in public in the Bay City is also a rule. War gods are not allowed to kill each other in the headquarters city. This is also one of the rules. Representative Lan said in a low voice, War god fighters are the wealth of humanity. Every one of them is important. You dared to kill a fighter in the HR Alliance Plaza in front of tens of thousands of people. That's a capital offense. But the one you want to kill is the war god of the War God Palace. That was even more of a crime. Even if you killed him, you would still be sentenced to death. The rules are made by the 5 speakers. Are you really going to trade your life for Liao's? And tens of thousands of innocent Xia compatriots? Among them are some youths that have just grown up, and some naive children that have just been born. Is it worth it? Representative Lan stared at Luo Feng. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 195. Many fighters in the HR Alliance market were looking at the plaza through the glass. The army surrounding the plaza was also looking at Luo Feng. With Luo Feng's soaring shuttle speed, even that Representative Lan won't be able to save Liao from him. The choice is in Luo Feng's hands. Yeah, it's not worth it. Luo Feng's expression was calm. The golden net fell from the sky. At the same time, the ropes unraveled under the control of spiritual force, releasing Liao, who was heavily injured and not far from death. The golden net swiftly shrunk into a ball of string and flew back to Luo Feng. Luo Feng grabbed the ball of string and looked down at Liao. He then looked at Vanina in the distance and couldn't help but to sneer. Vanina, I admit that I underestimated you, whoosh. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and turned into a beam of light as he flew away. Phew! All the soldiers in the surrounding army let out a sigh of relief. They knew that there was a T-111 bomb on the street. With the power of the T-111 bomb, they would have been in trouble in the plaza. We escaped. The middle-aged man in the Tang suit let out a sigh of relief. Phew! Vanina also let out a sigh of relief. Vanina ran to her husband Liao and helped him up. Are you okay? Good, I didn't die. Liao looked at the direction Luo Feng left in, his face as pale as paper. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and traveled over 1,000 meters per second. With an astonishing speed, he quickly flew out of Jiangnan headquarters city's main city area. He entered the food base area between the main city area and the Acropolis. A headquarters city is split into the main city area and the 8 Acropolis. Why are the headquarters cities split up? That's because between the main city area and the 8 Acropolis, large tracts of land are used as food bases for the humans of the headquarters city. I underestimated Vanina. If I dealt with Vanina from the start, none of this would have happened. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew past the tracts of land like lightning. But luckily Representative Lon reminded me. Yes, there's the rules of the Palace of War Gods. Since I can't kill Liao personally, using the rules of the Palace of War Gods to kill Liao and his wife is the same. 1 year and 3 months of being trapped in one place. As soon as he came out, he saw his father lying on the bed. Guilt, regret, and anger immediately made Luo Feng's eyes turn red. Anger filled his entire chest. He didn't care about anything else and directly went to kill Liao. Yes, a warlord publicly killing another warlord in the headquarters city was a capital offense. Representative Lon is right, but Luo Feng can show his strength when the time comes. He is already comparable to an existence surpassing the war god level. A council member killed a war god in anger because of his family's safety. At most, he would be punished in jail for a few years. War gods and counselors were completely different in terms of status and authority. If it was the chairman who killed the war god, he probably wouldn't even be punished. If it was the first chairman Hong who killed the other chairman, no one would dare to say that they would punish Hong. Mr. and Mrs. Li, your life is far less important than the lives of tens of thousands of ordinary people. It's fine now. There's no need to take the risk of going to jail for a few years just to kill Liao. Because of the words Palace of War Gods rules, Luo Feng swiftly came up with a plan to kill both Liao and his wife. First, let everyone know of my strength. Let them know that I have the strength of an existence surpassing the war god level. Then, Mingyue sector. Luo Hua. Luo Feng walked to his brother's room. Luo Hua, who was sitting in front of the computer, turned his head in confusion. Luo Feng directly said, "Which special department of the country did you hire to protect Mom and Dad? Immediately contact them and have the person in charge come to our house." Okay. Even though Luo Hua was confused, he still immediately made the call. Who would have thought that in less than 15 minutes, a disc-shaped fighter jet would descend in Mingyue sector? The 3 people in charge of the country's special department came to Luo Feng's living room. "Hello, Mr. Luo Feng. We've met before," smiled the white-haired old man. Director Lu Yin smiled. Luo Feng, the person in charge of Department 9. Mr. Luo Feng sure has a good memory. After shaking hands, the old man Lu Yin said, "May I ask why Mr. Luo Feng was in such a rush to find us?" It's like this. Luo Feng's face was serious. "A while ago, Li Yao and his wife used all sorts of methods to deal with our family. Back then, my brother asked for your help." "Yes, that's what happened," nodded the old man Lu Yin. "You should have enough evidence to prove that it was Li Yao and his wife who were dealing with our family, right?" asked Luo Feng again. Lu Yin smiled. "This is Jiangnan headquarters city, China's territory. Most of their actions are under our surveillance. We do indeed have enough evidence to prove that Li Yao and his wife were behind all the actions against your family." This Lu Yin didn't hesitate at all as he leaned towards Luo Feng. "Very good. I need you to provide me with enough evidence," said Luo Feng seriously. "No problem. You definitely have enough evidence. You have to believe that in our territory, we have absolute control," Lu Yin said with a smile. The reason why Lu Yin was so cooperative, it's mainly because he received a phone call while the disc-shaped fighter jet was on its way here. "Old Lu, that Luo Feng has strength surpassing the war god level." China's Kyoto headquarters city. In a majestic and elegant hall, China's highest-ranking leaders, the military's most powerful people, and even an existence surpassing the war god level. A middle-aged man wearing a leather jacket from the 1990s. Every single one of these people are important people who can shake China. A video was being played on a screen in the hall. Everyone was looking at him. Yep, The middle-aged man wearing the ancient leather jacket nodded. Look, this Luo Feng is controlling 16 weapons. With Li Yao's advanced war god level body fitness level and the black god set, it's impossible for him to make Li Yao spit out so much blood in midair with just one attack. Li Yao couldn't resist at all with just 2 attacks. The force of impact is definitely over 6 million kilograms. And Luo Feng was originally a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level war god level. When a spirit reader at this level controls throwing knives, the limit of each throwing knife is 560,000 kilograms. Luo Feng obviously isn't trying to show off by controlling 16 knives. This means that he can control 16 knives while maintaining his most powerful attack, 560,000 kilograms for each knife. 16 knives are between 8-9 million kg. Luo Feng's strength has definitely reached the average level of an existence surpassing the war god level. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket, lit one up, and started smoking. Smoke filled the hall. The people in this hall are the highest level of China, but no one would call this old guy. He looks like he's in his 40s, but in reality, he's almost 80. Who would have thought that China would have another existence surpassing the war god level? I suggest we immediately contact Luo Feng. China was the first to get hold of this news. However, with such a huge commotion at the HR Alliance Plaza, how could it be hidden from everyone else? The Dojo of Limits and the Thunder Dojo immediately received the most accurate surveillance footage after making 2 calls to China. They recorded the entire scene in 360 degrees, down to the pores of Luo Feng, Lan Ran, and the others. The Dojo of Limits, the Thunder Dojo, and even the HR Alliance quickly received the news. From the footage, they could easily estimate Luo Feng's strength. 16 throwing knives had an impact force of 8 million kilograms, 900 million kilograms. This data made everyone tremble in fear. Normal advanced level war god level fighters only have an impact force of around 800,000 to 900,000 kilograms. Luo Feng is 10 times their size, definitely comparable to a star traveler level 1. When the powerful fighters of the Thunder Dojo received this news, they were so angry that they started cursing at the Dojo of Limits for being so lucky. They actually got another representative fighter. And after the HR Alliance received this news, they swiftly prepared a strategy to deal with Luo Feng, Li Yao, and Vanina. Mingyue's sector was very peaceful, but in reality, there was a lot going on. Mr. Luo Feng, Lu Yin pointed at the laptop. The evidence is currently being sent. There's still 10 seconds before all the files, videos, etc. are sent. Luo Feng stared at the laptop that Lu Yin personally carried. Even with Lu Yan's status, he doesn't have the authority to carry around all the files and videos with him. Transmission complete, smiled Lu Yin. Very good. Thank you, old man Lu. Luo Feng's heart relaxed quite a bit. Actually, the plan that Luo Feng instantly thought of in the HR Alliance Plaza was very simple. It was split into 3 steps. 1. Have enough evidence to prove that the mastermind behind the attack on his family was Li Yao and his wife. 2. Reveal his strength and become a representative. 3. Sue Li Yao and his wife through the Palace of War Gods as a representative. Suddenly, his cell phone rang. Luo Feng took it out of his pocket. Hello, Luo Feng. It's me, Luha. A gentle voice carried over. Investigator Lu, smiled Luo Feng. Haha, you're still calling me investigator. Luo Feng. Oh, Luo Feng, you sure hid your strength well. When the head personally went to the Amazon region in South America to pick you up, you didn't even reveal your strength. Right now, the head and I just saw the video of you heavily injuring Li Yao in Jiangnan headquarters city, laughed Luha. The head said back then that your strength has reached the level of a representative. Luo Feng froze. He originally planned to reveal his strength, but he didn't think that the Dojo of Limits would find out after he made a move. It's good that they know. Once he sues Li Yao and his wife, he'll have enough evidence. A war god actually dared to attack a representative's family. How could that be? A war god attacking a war god's family is a serious crime. It's even possible that it's a death sentence. As for attacking a representative's family, it's without a doubt a death sentence. From today onwards, you are an existence that surpasses the war god level. Louis's voice was filled with joy. Very soon, our dojo of limits will publicly announce a date. When that time comes, the entire world will know that the head will personally award you the position of investigator. You will be the 6th investigator of our dojo of limits. Luo Feng. In the future, people will have to call you Representative Luo, Investigator Luo. Laugh Luha on the phone. P.S. End of 2 chapters. Yep, Li Yao and his wife are going to court. Chapter 196. The 6th investigator of the dojo of limits. Even though he was mentally prepared, it would be a lie if he wasn't excited. But right now, he has more important things to do. Kill Li Yao and his wife. Old Luo Feng held his phone and slightly waved towards Lu Yin. I'll be heading out first. Lu Yin took his laptop and left Luo Feng's study. Only Luo Feng was left in the study. There's someone else in your room? Laughed Lu Ha. Luo Feng walked in front of the window. Yeah, it's someone in charge of China's special forces. I just asked him for some evidence. I'm preparing to sue Li Yao and Vanina through the Palace of War Gods and accuse them of murdering my parents. Luha, what do you think will happen to Li Yao and his wife? Oh, Vulture and Scorpion dared to attack the family of a fighter? Luha was shocked. Yeah, or else I wouldn't have chased after them in public, nodded Luo Feng. No wonder. These two are too arrogant. Lu He's voice was filled with anger. Attacking the family of a fighter is a taboo. Luha, what do you think will happen if they're convicted? Asked Luo Feng. Death penalty, without a doubt, death penalty, and they have to be executed immediately, said Luha angrily. Don't worry, Luo Feng. Your identity is different now. The Palace of War Gods will directly raise your status to representative. As a representative, status and power are definitely different. Vulture and Scorpion are the masterminds behind this. They harmed the parents of a representative, so of course they have to be heavily punished. Luo Feng, you have to know that the Palace of War Gods Council is formed by 52 representatives and 5 chairmen. The council decides the outcome of the trial. Harming a representative's family is a taboo. This is the same as provoking all the representatives, so they have to choose to be heavily punished. That's how they can scare everyone, said Lu Ha. This is an unspoken rule. As long as they threaten the status and power of all the representatives, they will be punished by all the representatives, so as long as there's enough evidence, there's only one outcome for the Vulture and Scorpion couple. Death penalty, immediately executed. Lu Ha said so much in one breath. Clearly, he was filled with anger. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Just as he expected, in reality. When the Vulture-Scorpion couple made their move, Luo Feng wasn't even a representative or investigator yet. And because Luo Feng's identity has changed, the Vulture-Scorpion couple's fate has also changed. In the study, documents and videos were displayed on the laptop screen. Luo Feng read carefully. Humph. His methods are actually so sinister and unscrupulous. Luo Feng's face turned ugly. After reading through the large amounts of documents and videos, Li Yao and Vanina's methods from start to finish were all clear. Luo Feng was also scared. If his brother was just a bit useless, then his parents would really be in trouble. Luckily, his brother was ruthless enough to use the 1,000-year Black Crow route and his connections to become the 8th biggest shareholder of ICBC. In the era of headquarter cities, it was almost impossible to buy shares of China's largest bank, the Industrial and Commercial Bank, on a large scale. Ordinary major forces would not be willing to sell it. Even if one had money, they couldn't buy it. Only treasures like the 1,000-year Black Crow route that couldn't be bought with money could be exchanged for. This evidence is too sufficient. Even 1/10 of the evidence is enough to prove their crimes. Luo Feng immediately closed the videos and Word files. After packing all the evidence, he entered his personal page and sent it to the Palace of War Gods. In the mail, he wrote down the names of the people he's suing. In just 3 minutes, his cell phone rang. Luo Feng picked up his cell phone. Representative Luo Feng. Hello, a clear and gentle voice rose. We just received your mail. May I ask if Representative Luo Feng himself wants to sue Liao, Vanina, and Paulinus? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. All right, when the location and time of the hearing are confirmed, we will notify Representative Luo Feng. After confirming through the phone, some of the workers in the Palace of War Gods immediately started to arrange this matter. There were indeed a lot of documents and videos. Luo Feng spent around 2 hours reading them all. When this news reached the ears of the head of the Dojo of Limits, it was already evening. Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, inside the gigantic spaceship. In the quiet room, the black-clothed man, Hong, was holding a cup of hot tea as he flipped through some information on the internet. Master, a low voice resounded in the quiet room. Representative Luo Feng has sent evidence to Su Liao, Vanina, and Paulinus for the mastermind behind the murder of their parents. Is there enough evidence? The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly frowned. There is enough evidence, replied the voice. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly nodded. Notify the 3 best lawyers in the Dojo of Limits and have them take on this case. Also, arrange for a Star Traveler level fighter to personally arrest Li Yao and Vanina. And tomorrow, at 15:30 p.m., they will be tried in the highest court in our headquarters. Luo Feng is about to publicly become the investigator of the Dojo of Limits. I want this case to be handled beautifully, commanded the black-clothed man Hong. Yes, after the low voice said this word, the quiet room returned to silence. Mingyue sector. At night, tens of thousands of houses were lit up. Luo Feng stood on the balcony and looked at the endless night sky and the endless river of stars. His cell phone rang. Luo Feng took out his cell phone and saw that it was Su Xian's number. He connected. Hello, why didn't you come and pick me up? Asked Su Xian. Sorry, I was busy with some stuff and just finished. How about I go to Kyoto headquarters city now? Luo Feng was a bit apologetic. He just came back and was completely focused on his parents, so he didn't think about picking up Su Xian. I'm here, right in front of your Mingyue sector, PA? The phone was turned off. Luo Feng slightly froze. Su Xian already came from Kyoto headquarters city to his house. I'm such a jerk. Luo Feng cursed himself in his heart and directly leaped out of the balcony. Like a blur that streaked across the sky, with the help of his spiritual force, he flew around 100 meters in the air before landing. After a few leaps, he arrived around 30 meters away from the gate of Mingyue sector. Luo Feng immediately saw. In front of the sector, under the dim light of the street lamp, a slightly skinny girl silently stood there. This scene made Luo Feng's heart ache. After becoming his girlfriend, not only did Su Xian not get any benefits, but she also suffered quite a bit. When he came back, he didn't even have time to take care of her and let her rush over from thousands of miles away. Su Xian looked through the sector gate, and her body couldn't help but to slightly tremble. It's winter right now, and it's nighttime. Even though Kyoto headquarters city is also cold, the air there is dry, while Jiangnan headquarters city is damp and cold. And after Su Xian received Luo Feng's call, she quickly took the earliest train and only arrived at Yangzhou city after a few hours. She didn't even notice that Jiangnan headquarters city is even colder. Su Xian, a voice rang beside her. Su Xian froze and turned her head to the side. That familiar silhouette was her first boyfriend. For the past year, especially in the past 3 months, Su Xian's heart has been hurting every single day. Luo Feng. Su Xian's voice was a bit hoarse. After shouting, she couldn't help but cry. She directly hugged Luo Feng and hugged him tightly. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Luo Feng hugged Su Xian and felt Su Xian's tears soak through his clothes. Under the cold winter wind, under the dim street lamp. 1 year and 3 months later, Luo Feng and Su Xian finally met again. Compared to Luo Feng and Su Xian, the heartache and warmth of their reunion was obvious. Right now, even though Li Yao and Vanina were together, their hearts were in a mess. On the flight from Jiangnan headquarters city to Paris headquarters city in Europe, Liao and Vanina held each other's hands. We're in big trouble now. Vanina glanced at the surrounding passengers and then lowered her voice. He became a representative. If he wants to deal with us in the future. Don't be afraid. Liao lowered his voice. We've been waiting for the flight in Jiangnan headquarters city for 2 to 3 hours. In these 2 to 3 hours, he didn't come to find us. When we return to Paris headquarters city, that's our territory. Our HR Alliance's representative and that senior of mine are there. It'll be fine. It'll definitely be fine. He wasn't sure if he was comforting Vanina or himself. How could this happen? How did he become a representative? Vanina clenched her teeth. Liao's eyes also flashed fiercely. Hey, endure, endure. We can only endure. Liao lowered his voice and squeezed each word out through his teeth. The flight finally arrived in Paris, Europe. The sky in Paris was a bit dark, but it wasn't completely dark. In Paris headquarters city's airport, the flight slowly landed. After stopping, the cabin door automatically opened and a flight of stairs extended out. The passengers came down one by one. We're back. We're finally back to Paris. Vanina let out a smile. Liao also let out a rare smile. This was the first time he let out a smile after knowing that Luo Feng became a representative. The vulture-scorpion couple walked down the flight of stairs in the crowd. Liao, Vanina, a voice rang. The vulture-scorpion couple was startled. They turned their heads and saw 4 figures walking over from not too far away. One of the 2 people in the lead was a middle-aged man with brown curly hair wearing a black robe. His gaze was like lightning, making people afraid to look at him. And the person next to him had long white hair that draped over his shoulders. His entire body was like a piece of deadwood. Representative Yin, Representative Bonnet, Vanina was startled. Senior, Liao looked at the old man. The old man, Yin Hai, had a deep relationship with Liao. Representative Bonnet looked coldly at Vanina and Liao and said indifferently, "We represent the Palace of War Gods to officially arrest you. If you resist, we have the right to kill you both." Liao and Vanina widened their eyes. They thought that they were back in their territory, but they didn't think that something like this would happen. Senior, Liao looked at Yin Hai. Yin Hai sighed. "Little vulture, this is an order from the highest level of the Palace of War Gods. No one can help you. You were too reckless this time. Too reckless. Let's go. If you don't resist, you might still have a chance to live. If they were arrested in the name of the Palace of War Gods, they would be making an enemy out of the entire Palace of War Gods. The Palace of War Gods is a power that gathers all war gods and existences surpassing the war god level. Resist? Do you want to die?" Crack. Vanina and Liao were put on special handcuffs. They were a bit stunned, but they didn't resist at all. Senior, Liao looked at Yin Hai. Yin Hai sighed and didn't say anything. "Take them away," Representative Bonnet coldly ordered. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 197. That night, Liao and Vanina were apprehended in a panic. They were directly escorted to the dojo of Limit's world headquarters. And Luo Feng and Su Xin. This young couple snuggled together and talked about how they missed each other over the past year. "Sleep here tonight?" Luo Feng hugged Su Xin as he lightly laughed. "You wish," said Su Xin, and then lowered her head to look at the time on her watch. "It's already 12 p.m. Luo Feng, send me back, all right?" Luo Feng smiled. The 2 of them chatted intimately for so long, their emotions had calmed down quite a bit. He boarded the auto jet and left Yangzhou City's Mingyue district, heading towards the Su family's house. Within a few minutes, the auto jet was a few thousand meters above the Su family's house. Inside the auto jet in the air. "Luo Feng, I want you to promise me that in the future, before you do anything dangerous, you have to tell me first." Su Xin stared at Luo Feng. "I won't stop your career or your pursuit, but I need to know your condition." Su Xin. Luo Feng nodded. "All right, I'll tell you in the future. Before, I just didn't want you to worry. I'm willing to worry about you. I want to worry for you." Su Xin stared at Luo Feng. "But what I'm most afraid of is that you won't tell me anything." Luo Feng slightly nodded, his heart feeling warm. Although his girlfriend came from a big family, the elite education of the big family also made her very smart and understanding. There was also a saying on the internet that some women often clung to people without giving them any space, and some women often pestered people endlessly because of trivial matters. However, Su Exine wasn't that kind of person, which made Luo Feng happy. "Oh yeah, can you re-enroll after you quit school?" asked Luo Feng. "I'm withdrawing from school, not suspending it. It's very difficult to re-enter the university through formal channels, unless you use some family connections." Su Exine shook her head and said, "Anyway, I don't care about a paper diploma. I've been in university for more than 2 years, and I've learned most of the professional knowledge." He had already experienced university life. It was enough. "I'm going to start my own company." "Start a company?" Luo Feng froze. "Yes." Su Exine nodded. "The family is prepared to let me take over some things, but I don't want to take over immediately. No matter what I do, it's better to start from a young age. I'll start my own business first and summarize my experience through practice. In the future, we will gradually take over the family business." "Oh, my Luo Feng's girlfriend is a strong woman," laughed Luo Feng. "You don't like it?" Su Exine looked at Luo Feng. "I like it. After all, as a martial artist, I can't accompany you most of the time. Even if we get married in the future, I don't want you to be a housewife without your own career," said Luo Feng. Nowadays, young people's views on love are like this. Couples usually have jobs. Without a career, one's life would be boring. "Thank you, Honorable Representative Luo Feng, for understanding this little girl's thoughts." Su Exine smiled and made a saluting gesture. After doing this, Su Exine couldn't help but laugh. After sending Su Exine home, Luo Feng was in a good mood. Yangzhou City's Mingyue sector, Luo Feng's training hall. Late at night, Luo Feng sat cross-legged. How efficient! Luo Feng looked at the information he received on the mini quantum computer. They arrested Li Yao and Vanina so quickly. Tomorrow at 15:30 p.m., the highest court in the dojo of Limit's World Headquarters? Li Yao, Vanina, tomorrow, I'm done with you. Luo Feng closed this message. Right now, Luo Feng doesn't even consider the Vulture Scorpion couple his opponents. Different statuses, different horizons. Maybe the youth who was fleeing in the wilderness back then was terrified, cautious, and extremely careful when the Vulture Scorpion offered a sky-high bounty. However, after going through the elite training camp, Misty Island, and Archaeological Ruin No. 9, the Vulture Scorpion isn't this youth's opponent anymore. From what the bald crystal person said, the so-called archaeological ruin was left behind by some race in the universe. For example, Archaeological Ruin No. 9 was left behind by the master of Yun Mo planet. That Yun Mo planet is clearly one of the planets in the vast universe. Luo Feng felt an unknown sense of danger. Some races in the universe can leave their ruins here. This means that one day, the races in the universe will descend. At that time, it'll be hard to say whether it'll be a blessing or a curse for humanity on Earth. And the bald crystal person also said that in the future, Earth will be discovered by some countries in the universe. The stronger I become, the better off I'll be, and I'll even be able to help my country. In Luo Feng's subconscious, he no longer views the monsters on Earth as his opponents. The true danger of Earth is in the universe. Compared to some of the powerful countries and races in the universe, Earth is indeed very weak right now. Even the number of Star Traveler level fighters is pitifully small. As for Earth's so-called high technology, it's not even worth mentioning in the universe. What I need to do right now is just like what the bald crystal person said, work hard. I'll first use Hong and Thunder God as my goals and work hard to surpass them. I'll become the strongest fighter on Earth. Luo Feng's eyes were sharp. Back then, the bald crystal person left a key to breaking through to the Star Traveler level on Luo Feng's mini quantum computer. However, today, Luo Feng was busy dealing with Vulture Li Yao and then comforting his girlfriend. He didn't have time to look at it. Now that he has time, Luo Feng immediately started flipping through it. I can't even find an effective way to break through to the Star Traveler level on Earth. Luo Feng was filled with curiosity. He quickly found the key to breaking through from the mini quantum computer on his arm. He started reading it carefully. The number of apprentices in the universe is uncountable. Stepping into the star traveler level from the student level 9 stage. It's the most important and basic step for a life form to rise. Once you step through it, you'll officially become a genetic fighter and spirit reader in the universe. This section describes how to become a star traveler level 1 stage spirit reader, spiritual force. In reality, can also be called spiritual force or soul energy. The human body is mainly split into the body and the spirit, or the body and the soul. The spirit and the soul are actually the same. Spirit, soul, is split into spiritual force, soul energy, and consciousness. When your spiritual force is strong enough, you can leave the realm of consciousness and control the outside world. Enter the realm of consciousness of other living beings, etc. When your spiritual force is strong enough, it's called spiritual force. How can a student level 9 stage spiritual force break through to the star traveler level? First, your spiritual force has to reach the peak of the student level 9 stage. Next is the consciousness. Spiritual force is split into spiritual force and consciousness. Spiritual force covers the entire realm of consciousness and is a tangible existence. Consciousness, on the other hand, was something that couldn't be touched. Just what is this consciousness? Just what use does it have? You can say it like this: spiritual force is the soldier, and consciousness is the commander. The battle power of the entire army first depends on the soldier, and second depends on the commander. In the simplest case, when a normal person is excited, they can lift heavier objects. And when their spirit is low, they can only lift half of their normal weight. These two situations have the same physical strength, but it's the excited and low states of the spirit, resulting in different battle power. Consciousness is important to fighters, and the same logic, consciousness is also important to spirit readers. A powerful commander will be able to deploy troops better. The same student level 9 stage. Those with strong consciousness can accurately control 10 hidden weapons or even more hidden weapons. And those with weak consciousness can only control 4 or 5 hidden weapons. This is the difference in consciousness. There are many ways to train consciousness. For example, after going through hardships and difficulties, a fighter's will become firm. Actually, firm willpower is also a sign of a strong consciousness. Of course, that is a very crude method. There are many ways to train consciousness in the universe. The most mainstream ones in UNMO Planet are the Manipulator's Secret Techniques Basic 312 forms and the Illusionist's Secret Techniques Basic 186 forms. Of the two styles, one is masculine and the other is feminine. Both are extremely effective. Of course, the talents of the students are different. Some have a low mind expanse. Some have a high mind expanse of over 20, even over 30, over 40. The higher the mind expanse, the harder it is for them to break through. But a strong consciousness will also allow them to achieve greater things in the future. But when consciousness and spiritual force both meet the requirements, then the next step is to break through. Both have reached the limit and can break through at any time, but the time is uncertain. At this time, there are 3 ways. The first is to wait for an opportunity or to meet a certain situation. And when your emotions are agitated, your consciousness will be stimulated, and you will break through. Or you can wait for 3 to 5 years and still not break through. The second is to continue to strengthen your consciousness. A strong consciousness can instantly allow your spiritual force to break through. The third is the 99 spirit forging that this chapter is talking about. It is split into 81 steps, and each step takes 1.5 hours. During this 99 spirit forging, if you stop in the middle, you have to start all over again, so you have to do it in one go. Once you complete the 81 steps, you can break through to the Star Traveler level. Next is the detailed method of the 99 spirit forging. Luo Feng was extremely excited as he read. The manual left behind by this bald crystal person is definitely a treasure. It's much better than the Spirit Reader basics that Hong gave him. The translated language is extremely simple. It basically explains the source of a spirit reader's power, spirit, which is the soul. This spirit is split into two parts, spiritual force and consciousness. Consciousness is the commander, and spiritual force is the soldier. Yet, according to what the bald crystal person said, my consciousness and spiritual force have both reached the limit and can break through at any time. However, if I wait like an idiot, who knows how long I'll have to wait. Luo Feng instantly decided, I'll train according to this 99 spirit forging. Luo Feng didn't know that even in a vast universe, a technique that can allow a student to break through to the Star Traveler level from the student level 9 stage is extremely valuable. Some powerful races and countries in the universe wouldn't be willing to give it to others. Each step takes 5 hours, and there are 81 steps in total, which means I'll need a bit more than 5 days. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. The trial starts tomorrow, so I don't have enough time. After the trial ends and the vulture-scorpion couple is executed, I'll finish this 99 spirit forging in one go. Let's look at this soaring sky technique. According to what the bald crystal person said, only by using the soaring sky technique can I truly unleash the power of the soaring shuttle. Maybe I'll be able to improve quite a bit with just one night. With a thought from Luo Feng, a scroll that was glowing with specks of starlight immediately appeared on the surface of his black vest. This was the soaring sky scroll he got from the archaeological ruin, which Luo Feng kept in his black god vest. P.S. 2 chapters completed, preview. 3 chapters tomorrow, 3 chapters the day after. Then I'll have to pull down my monthly votes. No choice, I have to pull down my monthly votes at the end of the month. If I don't, I'll be overtaken. I'll work hard to pull down 3 chapters tomorrow, 3 chapters the day after. Hopefully, the monthly votes will be like snowflakes, floating towards me. Chapter 198. Soaring Sky Instruction Manual. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the book in his hand. After receiving this instruction manual, he never seriously looked at it. The paper of this instruction manual was made of a special black material, unlike any material on Earth. As for the specks of starlight on the cover, they had a faint aura, but upon closer inspection, they couldn't help but feel apprehensive. Even a book is so special. Luo Feng flipped to the first page. This is the instruction manual of the Yun Mo planet's manipulators. The one who practices this is not allowed to spread this instruction manual. If you pass it to other members of the Yun Mo planet, you will be punished with 60 years of hard labor. If this is spread outside of the Yun Mo planet, you will be killed without mercy. This short sentence shocked Luo Feng. Clearly, the Yun Mo planet is a very strict organization. Even the internal members are not allowed to spread the instruction manual. As for spreading it to the outside world, that is even more taboo. Since I passed the death mission, that bald crystal person clearly recognized me as a member of the Yun Mo planet. Luo Feng flipped to the second page. Soaring Sky Instruction Manual is a unique instruction manual for using the soaring shuttle. The soaring shuttle is one of the spirit weapons created by the master of the Yun Mo planet, Hu Yin Bo. However, only by using the Soaring Sky Instruction Manual can one unleash the true power of the soaring shuttle. Using the soaring shuttle allows the spirit manipulators of a Yun Mo planet to kill enemies above their level. The soaring shuttle has a total of 3 major forms. The first form can be trained with an amplitude of 12. The second form can be trained with an amplitude of 30. The third form is the soaring shuttle's final form. You need to reach the universe level, have your own domain, and have an amplitude of 48 to be trained. The Soaring Sky Instruction Manual can be directly flipped to the first form. The second form requires an amplitude of 30 to be flipped to the second form. As for the third form, you need to reach the universe level to be able to open it. Next is the instruction manual for the first form. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry after reading this page. It seems like it's impossible for him to flip through the entire instruction manual. Let's give it a try. Luo Feng quickly flipped through the pages. He flipped through the special black paper one by one. However, when he flipped through about a third of the way down, Luo Feng couldn't flip through it anymore. It was as if the two-thirds of the instruction manual was stuck together. And the last piece of paper that Luo Feng could read had a very mysterious and complicated picture on it. There was a line of words next to it. Infuse your spiritual force into the catalog. If you succeed, you can read the contents of the second form of the soaring shuttle. It seems very mysterious. Luo Feng stared at the picture. With a thought, he extended his spirit energy into the picture. Boom! In an instant, his spiritual force entered a universe. At this moment, Luo Feng seemed to have transformed into one of the planets. The vast universe seemed to have entered a moment of great destruction. Countless planets madly flew towards Luo Feng. Tens of thousands, countless. The apocalyptic scene made Luo Feng tremble. He quickly used his spiritual force to control the planets, wanting to block them. Rumble. In less than a second, Luo Feng was smashed into pieces by countless planets. His spiritual force was directly destroyed. Hoo-hoo. Luo Feng's forehead was sweating as he looked at the picture in front of him with fear. What the hell? An illusion? Luo Feng was shocked. He had never heard of a spirit reader on Earth that could create such a realistic illusion. Looks like it's just as the instruction manual said. You must reach an amplitude of 30 before you can read the contents of the second form. And my amplitude is currently 16, so I'm still far from it. Luo Feng was clear in Archaeological Ruin number 9 that the number of concealed weapons you can control while maintaining maximum power represents the amplitude of your amplitude. Luo Feng's amplitude is 16. In the entire world, there isn't a single spirit reader stronger than him. Of course, in the vast universe, Luo Feng's results are too far away. He can only show off a bit on Earth. The soaring shuttle is divided into attack form, defense form, and flight form. The first form of the soaring shuttle is the body of the soaring shuttle. The attack form is the mountain drill, and the defense form is the mountain bulwark. The first form is divided into 3 levels. The first level can be trained by an amplitude of 12, the second level can be trained by an amplitude of 18, and the third level can be trained by an amplitude of 24. Soaring Sky is divided into 3 major forms. Each form has 3 levels, which means there are a total of 9 levels. And Luo Feng's amplitude is currently 16, so he can only train the first level of the first form. Amazing, amazing. Just what was the master of Yun Mo planet, Huyin Bo, thinking? As Luo Feng read, his admiration for the master of Yun Mo planet grew. According to the instruction manual, the soaring shuttle and soaring sky are just one of the many spiritual weapons created by the master of Yun Mo planet, Huyin Bo. And that archaeological ruin number 9 was also left behind by Huyin Bo, so the complex engravings on the 365 blades of the soaring shuttle have this kind of effect. But what's the theory behind it? Luo Feng didn't understand the last part. Just like how to use a submachine gun, the instruction manual only tells you how to use it, but not how to make it. The soaring shuttle doesn't explain the theory behind making it. Amazing too amazing. Luo Feng was a bit excited. I'll go to the wilderness right now and try to train the first level, asterisk, 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 asterisk in the middle of the night. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew out of Mingyue sector. He transformed into a beam of light and swiftly flew out of Yangzhou City, arriving at the wilderness. Around 300 or so kilometers away from Yangzhou City, a figure descended from the sky and spread out his spiritual force without holding back, causing some of the monsters on the desolate and dilapidated highway to flee in panic. Luo Feng looked at a hill 100 meters away. The soaring shuttle, in the shape of a shuttle, instantly split into 365 extremely thin curved blades. Countless blades floated in front of Luo Feng. Combine. Mountain drill. Luo Feng's gaze froze. Whoosh. The 365 blades instantly gathered together to form a conical shape. On the surface of the cone were circles and circles of spirals, just like the electric drills that workers use to drill through walls. I wonder if I'll succeed the first time. Luo Feng's mind swiftly flashed with a technique to control the mountain drill. Break! Luo Feng stared at the hill in the distance. 12 strands of spiritual force that reached Luo Feng's limit immediately followed the engravings on the mountain drill. Golden engravings suddenly appeared on the originally silver-colored soaring shuttle. Each golden engravings carried a shocking amount of power, as if they were going to tear apart the earth and sky. A total of 12 golden engravings extended from the base of the mountain drill towards the tip of the mountain drill. One of them arrived first. Chi! The 12 golden engravings instantly collapsed, and the mountain drill returned to its original silver color. Control failed. Luo Feng shook his head helplessly. Again, Chi. The 12 golden engravings collapsed once again. In terms of level, Luo Feng's current limit is to control 16 projectiles at full power. So controlling the 12 strands of spiritual force to activate the mountain drill is quite easy. He can activate 12 golden engravings at once. However, to make the 12 golden engravings perfectly reach the tip at the same time is quite difficult. Luckily, Luo Feng's amplitude is 16, which far exceeds the requirement. Learning the first stage is a bit easier. If his amplitude was 12, a spirit reader who just reached the requirement would probably need a very long time to succeed. Time passed minute by minute as Luo Feng tried again and again. The originally dark sky gradually started to brighten up. The cold winter fog filled the air. In the wilderness and on the broken highway, there were shadows of monsters coming and going. When these monsters saw the mysterious man's silhouette, especially the ring of monster corpses around him, they didn't dare to approach anymore. The sky started to brighten. Gradually, the clouds in the east started to turn red. Finally, the sun slightly peeked out from the east. Break! Luo Feng's eyes were like lightning as he stared at the mountain drill in front of him. The complex engravings on the surface of the silver-gray mountain drill instantly activated 12 golden engravings. Like electric snakes, the 12 golden engravings instantly extended to the tip of the mountain drill. They all arrived at the same time. When the 12 golden engravings gathered together, it was as if lightning was striking the ground. The 12 golden engravings instantly rotated. Angie. The mountain drill transformed into a golden light as it rotated and pierced through the air. Its speed instantly reached an unbelievable level. The mountain drill turned into a golden beam of light and pierced into the hill as if it was crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Rumble! Instantly, smoke and dust filled the air. The mountain drill made a circle in the distance as it flew back. The smoke and dust from the hill in the distance dispersed. More than half of the hill had collapsed. Under the mountain drill's powerful piercing and tearing power, only half of the hill remained. Such fast speed, such powerful piercing power. Its speed is at least 50% faster than my normal attack. According to the instruction manual, the first stage of the mountain drill's power is around 3 times that of my normal attack. And a Star Traveler Level 2 stage is around 2 times that of a Star Traveler Level 1 stage. In other words, with a mountain drill, my attack power is stronger than a normal Star Traveler Level 2 stage. Luo Feng was extremely excited. This is the difference between an elite with a background and a fighter without a teacher. Almost all of the fighters and spirit readers on Earth don't have a teacher. All of them bury themselves in training and don't know anything. Even if they get a spirit weapon, they won't use it. As for Luo Feng, after becoming a member of the UNMO planet, he immediately obtained the basics of Instruction 312 forms, which greatly increased Luo Feng's amplitude. He also obtained the Soaring Sky, which greatly increased his attack power. With these 2 improvements, he, an elite student level 9 stage, can fight against a Star Traveler level 2 stage. This is the benefit of having a teacher and a background. Luo Feng spent 5 hours to successfully master the mountain drill's first layer, and another 3 hours to master the bulky mountain shield's first layer. Since then, Luo Feng wouldn't be too far off from the elite disciples of the large powers in the universe. With the UNMO planet's inheritance, I'll just have to wait until I reach the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. The other representatives won't be a threat to me. The rapid increase in power made Luo Feng a bit excited. However, he was also a bit worried. He only obtained the Yin Mo planet's beginner's inheritance, and he became so strong all of a sudden. If the powerful races and countries in the universe really come, will Earth have the ability to resist? Let's not think about this anymore. Luo Feng immediately stepped on the soaring shuttle and swiftly returned to Yangzhou City. P.S. The first chapter has ended. There will be 3 chapters today. Sweat. The first chapter is a bit late. Chapter 199. December 27th, 2058, afternoon. Large amounts of disc-shaped fighter jets and auto jets were on the tarmac outside the dojo of Limit's world headquarters. Each one of them was expensive. Luo Feng's Emperor-level auto jet could only be considered average here, so it wasn't eye-catching at all. This is because over 30 representatives came here today. 1510. Over half of the representatives and a few war gods on Earth gathered in the court of the headquarters' gigantic spaceship. Luo Feng, let me introduce you. This is Representative Bygraves under the introduction of Luo Feng's good friend, Investigator Luha. Luo Feng met with some of the famous and powerful figures on Earth. These representatives all gave face to this upcoming 6th investigator of the Dojo of Limits. This is Representative Zhu. She smiled. Luha. He's also Chinese. Hello. Representative Zhu. She Luo Feng extended his hand. Hello. Representative Luo Feng. The skinny man with a hooked nose. Zhu. She also shook Luo Feng's hand. This scene didn't seem any different from the others Luo Feng met before. However, Luo Feng sighed in his heart. Back when war god Lu Gang died, Representative Zhu, she came to participate in the memorial service. The scene of so many important figures from the political, business, military, and fighter circles respectfully welcoming him gave Luo Feng, who was still in the Fire Hammer Squad, a huge shock. In the blink of an eye, he became a representative. Luo Feng, look, that white-haired guy who doesn't seem to be alive at all is Representative Yin Hai, whispered Lu Ha. Even though he's Chinese, he has an extremely good relationship with Li Yao. Now that you've killed Li Yao, you've formed a grudge with him. It'll be hard for him to form a good relationship with you. He's very powerful and has the right to challenge for the 5th chairman seat. However, don't worry. He won't dare to mess with our dojo of limits, said Lu Ha quietly. Of course, just don't mess with him for no reason. Luo Feng glanced and just laughed. Representative Yin Hai? Not just Yin Hai. Even the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chairman won't be his match after he goes back and steps into the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. In the distance, Yin Hai looked at Luo Feng expressionlessly and snorted coldly. Yin Hai treated Li Yao as his own child because of the experience he had when he was adventuring in the Grand Nirvana period. That kind of experience had indeed created deep feelings for him. Unfortunately, his opponent was someone from the Dojo of Limits. Although Yin Hai had a trace of resentment, he could only suppress it. That's Luo Feng? I've heard that he can control hidden weapons with a maximum impact force of 8 to 9 million kilograms. He is indeed comparable to some counselors. So what if he's comparable? After all, he hasn't made the breakthrough yet. In terms of ground movement speed, running speed, and various combat methods, he is not as nimble as us. If he really fights with the counselors, I'm afraid he won't be able to defeat any of them. Some counselors can control flames, some can control ice, and so on. It's impossible to guard against them. In terms of attacking methods, they are indeed more ingenious than him. In some corners of the courtroom, some representatives were whispering to each other. While they were whispering, they formed a barrier around them to prevent Luo Feng from hearing them. After all, these star travelers didn't want to have enmity with Luo Feng. They just felt disdain in their hearts. This disdain was actually born from jealousy. Jealousy of Luo Feng's potential to be able to reach such a level of attack power at the peak of the War God level. When Luo Feng breaks through to the Star Traveler level, he will definitely become one of the best among them. So what if he has high potential? He's still a bit lacking when it comes to actually fighting with us. This was what many representatives thought. While chatting with the representatives, Luo Feng still felt that they were keeping a distance from him. Only the investigators from the Dojo of Limits were close to Luo Feng. The 1st chairman, the 2nd chairman, are here. Hong, and thunder god. The representatives and some of the war gods in the gallery all quietened down. From the side door of the courtroom, a black-clothed man and a white-robed bald monk walked to the front of the gallery one after the other. The black-clothed man, Hong, seemed to swallow all the light around him, while the bald monk gave off a feeling that made people's hearts tremble. Hong, Star Traveler Level 6 Stage. Thunder God, Star Traveler Level 7 Stage. Luo Feng looked at the two. The black-clothed man, Hong, was cold and indifferent. The white-robed Thunder God had a warm smile, but it made people feel respect. These are the two powerful fighters of Earth. In terms of fitness level, Thunder God surpasses Hong. However, because Hong has his own domain, he completely crushes Thunder God. After Hong and Thunder God arrived, the courtroom quickly started. Luo Feng sat in the plaintiff's stand, while Li Yao and Vanina stood in the defendant's stand with their hands cuffed and legs shackled. It's rare to see two advanced-level war gods on trial in history. At 16:20 p.m., the courtroom made their verdict. Li Yao, Vanina Paulinus, instigating others to murder the family of a representative, convicted, sentenced to death. Immediate execution. The faces of Li Yao and Vanina in the defendant's stand slightly changed. Actually, they were already prepared for this long before the trial. Luo Feng. Li Yao and Vanina stared at Luo Feng in the plaintiff's stand. Luo Feng only coldly glanced at the two of them. The vulture-scorpion couple actually dared to kill his family. He missed it once, so he definitely won't miss it a second time. He can't let this disaster continue. Letting these two live means that he doesn't care about his family's safety and is irresponsible to his family. Li Yao, hand over the black god, said. Two powerful representatives stood in front of Li Yao. Li Yao, who was in the defendant's stand, looked around the courtroom. There were over 30 powerful representatives in this courtroom, including the first chairman Hong and the second chairman Thunder God. Killing Li Yao would be as easy as flipping their hands. Even though Li Yao wasn't willing, he could only force the black god set out of his body and hand it over. Escort the prisoner to the wilderness for execution, said the judge in the courtroom. The two representatives in charge of escorting the prisoner to the execution were respectively Representative Lu He from the Dojo of Limits and Representative Emuhan from the Thunder Dojo. Under Luo Feng's request, he was able to go with them in a universe-level auto jet. Li Yao and Vanina were handcuffed and shackled under the supervision of the three representatives, Luo Feng, Lu He, and Emuhan. Luo Feng. Vanina stared at Luo Feng. Vanina stared at Luo Feng. Her Chinese wasn't perfect as she clenched her teeth and said, "If you had the ability, you would have killed us in the headquarters city yesterday. Who would have thought that you would be so despicable as to use the palace of War God's court to judge us? You shameless bastard, even if I die, I won't." "Shut up," yelled Lu He, who was sitting in front of her. "I'm about to die. Why would I be scared of you?" laughed Vanina coldly. As a European, even though Vanina knows Chinese, she clearly isn't good at cursing in Chinese. Luo Feng just looked at her coldly and completely ignored Vanina's words. She's just a pitiful worm about to die. Vulture Li Yao, however, stared at Luo Feng without saying a word. "Even though you chased after me in the continent of Australia, I didn't bother you and let you live peacefully in Paris headquarters city." Luo Feng looked coldly at Li Yao, "But I didn't think that you would immediately make a move against my family as soon as news of my death got out." Li Yao. "Oh, Li Yao, if I don't kill you, I won't be a son." Li Yao was silent as he stared at Luo Feng. "Away, I couldn't avenge you. I was useless. It's over, it's over, it's all over, Luo Feng, Luo Feng. If there's a ghost after you die, I won't let you go." Even though Li Yao didn't say a single word, he kept roaring in his heart. However, no matter how much hatred he had, when he, Li Yao, was killed, everything became nothing. "I can't accept this. I can't accept this. I can't accept dying like this. I can't accept this." Li Yao roared in his heart as he clenched his teeth so hard that blood started to seep out. The universe-level auto jet slowly descended. "Go down." Li Yao and Vanina walked down step by step in a daze. Because they were shackled, they could only walk step by step. In this wasteland, Liao, and Vanina both stood there. "Luha," said Representative Amuhan on the side. "You kill Liao. I'll kill Vanina." "No problem," smiled Luha as he replied. Amuhan walked towards Vanina step by step. Vanina's face was delicate, and she was indeed a beauty. However, this beautiful woman's eyes were filled with hatred and even tears. When Representative Amuhan got close, the scimitar at his waist was instantly unsheathed. As if a beam of light flashed past, Vanina, who wanted to dodge, stopped moving. Voila! The head directly rolled off, and the headless corpse fell to the ground. "Vanina!" Liao stared at Vanina's corpse and couldn't help but to close his eyes in pain. "If you die, everything becomes nothing. No matter how vicious I am, it's useless, useless. I can't accept this. I really can't accept this. However, if you die, everything becomes nothing." Liao, who had his eyes closed, was filled with emotions. He was either angry, unwilling, or disappointed. Actually, death itself isn't that scary, but waiting for death like this is the most torturous. Liao's body couldn't help but to slightly tremble from the emotions he never felt before. "Liao, Vanina." Vulture-scorpion couple. Luo Feng glanced at Vanina's corpse and then looked towards Liao. "Let's end this." "Luo Feng, how about you kill her?" Luha looked towards Luo Feng. "Go ahead," said Luo Feng. Luha smiled and walked towards Liao. Liao's entire body was trembling slightly. His eyes were closed, and there seemed to be tears at the corners of his eyes. "Liao died," Luha said with a smile. "Gee!" The surrounding light suddenly distorted. Liao, who had been standing there motionless, suddenly retreated over 100 meters. Luo Feng. Liao fiercely rushed into the sky. "I will definitely kill you, definitely." Trying to escape, Luo Feng let out a ferocious roar. He stepped on the soaring shuttle and swiftly soared into the sky. P.S. Chapter 2 ends here. Chapter 200. Chase. Luha and Amuhan didn't hesitate at all and immediately rushed into the sky. Star Traveler level fighters can fly. This is one of the biggest special abilities of the student level to the Star Traveler level. However, they can't use their legs to fly in the sky, so their flying speed is far slower than their running speed on the ground. So fast. Luo Feng's also very fast. Luha and Amuhan watched as Liao and Luo Feng, one in front and one behind, swiftly flew into the sky and disappeared from their line of sight. This Liao's special ability should be light. Luha frowned. Like the Hall Master, he possesses the special ability of light. His flying speed is much faster than ours. We won't be able to catch up. In the universe, the reason why Star Traveler level fighters are called true fighters is because only after reaching the Star Traveler level fighters have their own special abilities. "Contact the head," ordered Luha through his tactical communications watch. "Contact the head." Emihan also wanted to contact Thunder God. The call quickly connected. "Ed, that Li Yao broke through to the representative level at the crucial moment of the execution, and his special ability should be light, which is extremely fast. He just rushed into the sky, and Luo Feng already chased after him. Amuhan and I couldn't catch up," immediately reported Lu Ha. Amuhan also reported. After reporting, "Let's go. We'll chase in an auto jet." Only then did Lu Ha let the universe-level auto jet fly over. Actually, Lu Ha and the others were very clear that an auto jet is useless. The auto jet's flying speed far surpasses a representative's. However, after the auto jet catches up, Lu Ha and Amuhan will have to fly out of the auto jet to chase after Li Yao if they want to kill him. But since their speed isn't as fast as Li Yao, there's no point in chasing. Dojo of Limit's World Headquarters, Banquet Hall. Of course, the Dojo of Limits couldn't just let all the representatives run back and forth like this, so they held a banquet in the banquet hall. For the representatives, the death of 2 war gods is just a small matter. The only person who really cares about this is Yen Hai. "What?" In the banquet hall, the black-clothed man, Hong's face slightly changed. He broke through. The bald monk, Thunder God, was also shocked when he received the notification. The entire banquet hall instantly quieted down. The man in black, Hong, ordered, "Allure, Vladimir." Here, the personal guard, Yao Rao, stepped forward. Here, a black man stepped forward. "You two take my prehistoric level auto jet and immediately help Luo Feng kill Liao," ordered the black-clothed man, Hong. Liao has already broken through and reached the representative level. His special ability was light. The two of you set off quickly. Yes. Allure and Inspector Vladimir quickly left the banquet hall and took the prehistoric auto jet to the wilderness. The entire banquet hall was in an uproar. Liao has made a breakthrough, breaking through before death. This Liao is quite formidable. Not to mention, his special ability is light. The counselors discussed in low voices. Yin Hai, who was sitting in the corner, had a rare hint of joy on his old face. He thought to himself, "Little vulture, you must seize the opportunity to escape this time." The first chairman has ordered Vladimir and Roland to support Luo Feng. Could Luo Feng be chasing after Liao? This Liao's special ability is light. His flying speed is faster than most representatives. Luo Feng actually dares to chase. This Luo Feng overestimates himself. His attack power is comparable to an ordinary counselor, but that Liao's current attack power is not weaker than his. And with his special light, his agility is shocking. Luo Feng is in deep trouble this time. The counselors felt sorry for Liao. If Liao had made a breakthrough before the trial, he would not have been sentenced to death. It was too late to break through now. Some thought that Luo Feng was overestimating himself. Isn't it just 16 weapons with a force of over 8 million kilograms? He actually dares to chase after a representative. Brother Hong, Luo Feng is too daring. The bald monk Thunder God smiled and said, "I was a little rash." The black-clothed man, Hong, frowned. The current him is not Li Yao's opponent. His eyes have been blinded by hatred. Sigh, he still needs to be properly trained. After all, he is still too young. HM, this punk Luo Feng is a good seedling. If we nurture him well, he'll have a bright future. In the future, when we meet with some important matters, he may become our helper. Thunder God smiled. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly nodded. His potential is very high. In another 10 or 20 years, he might become the third chairman. The prerequisite is that he has perseverance. In the eyes of the two strongest fighters on Earth, Luo Feng has a lot of potential. However, it's not enough yet. This time he was too rash. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly shook his head. Clearly, he was very disappointed in Luo Feng's mission. High up in the sky, stratosphere. This is an existence surpassing the war god level. This is the strength of a representative. Liao, who was rapidly flying in the sky, couldn't help but to laugh out loud. His laughter was like a crazed shockwave that spread out. The light around him was slightly distorted. Sometimes his body was blurry, and sometimes it was strange. His tattered clothes were torn apart by the wind, revealing his powerful body. What a powerful force! My agility and explosiveness are much stronger than before. Liao waved his fist, and the air exploded. With my transformed genetic energy as a buffer, it's clearly much easier for my fist to explode. No wonder all the powerful representative fighters are so powerful. And behind, whoosh, a flowing light swiftly chased after him. Liao, an enraged roar. Luo Feng. Liao glanced at Luo Feng from the corner of his eye and couldn't help but to flash with an ominous glint. He actually floated in midair and stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, also stopped and hovered in front of Liao. "It's all because of you. Because of you, my son died. Because of you, my wife also died. Today, I'll let you know the strength of an existence surpassing the war god level." Under Liao's tattered clothes, the muscles on his body were like sculptures. The lines were perfect. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle and wearing a helmet and the Black God set, was extremely cold. An existence surpassing the War God level? Just a star traveler level 1 stage. Liao, you're destined to die by my hands. Luo Feng silently looked at Liao. Arrogant. Liao roared. At this time, the universe-level auto jet that Lu He and Amuhan were on was already hovering in the distance. However, because Lu He and Amuhan's speed wasn't as fast as Liao's, they didn't rush out. Even if they rushed out, they wouldn't be able to touch Liao's clothes. They were only responsible for chasing. As long as they don't lose him, the people Hong sends will be able to easily kill Vulture Liao. Luo Feng, hurry and get on the jet. Lu He's voice carried over. Luo Feng and Liao, however, stared at each other in midair. Luo Feng, you're too young and too arrogant. Today, you'll die because of your arrogance. Liao laughed coldly. After that, he slightly extended his left and right hands. A light slowly appeared on Liao's left and right hands, as if they were two blades, and his hands became a bit blurry. Luo Feng's soaring shuttle was already hovering in front of him. Black steps extended from his feet as he hovered in midair. He silently watched as Liao prepared his ultimate move. Even though the Black God said is powerful, your body is only at the advanced level War God level. Liao let out a creepy smile and actually closed his eyes. Liao revealed a trace of a strange smile. He actually closed his eyes. Gradually, his entire body began to emit traces of light. It was as if his entire body was enveloped in a layer of golden light. This scene shocked Lu He and Amuhan on the auto jet. He's going all out right from the start. Lu He was shocked. This Liao indeed has a grudge against Luo Feng. He'd rather heavily injure Luo Feng than kill Luo Feng. As Star Traveler level fighters, Lu He and Amuhan were very clear on what Liao was doing. Liao, whose entire body was bathed in the golden light, suddenly moved. Whoosh! Like a rainbow, he shot towards Luo Feng. Liao, Luo Feng hovered in midair and slightly waved his hand. Whoosh! The soaring shuttle instantly transformed into a mountain drill. Under the activation of 12 powerful spiritual force infused into the engravings, 12 golden engravings immediately appeared and swiftly darted towards the tip of the mountain drill, forming an unbelievable penetrating force. The mountain drill seemed to have the force of 1 trillion tons of gunpowder exploding. ANG, the soaring shuttle, as if it was piercing through space, transformed into a golden light, and its speed reached an unbelievable level. Even a Star Traveler level 9 stage might not be faster than this soaring shuttle in its mountain drill form. What? Liao's mind was only filled with shock. He didn't have time to think about anything else. Boom! Under the absolute speed, Liao had no time to think or dodge. Just as he was about to unleash his ultimate move, a huge hole was drilled in his chest by the mountain drilling all. The rotating, tearing force of the mountain drilling all even tore Liao's corpse into pieces in an instant. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Huh! The mountain drill instantly transformed into the soaring shuttle and flew back to Luo Feng's feet. Liao dead, right when he broke through to become an existence surpassing the War God level and was about to take revenge, he was killed by Luo Feng. He died just like that. The soaring shuttle is divided into 3 main forms. The first form of the soaring shuttle can transform into the mountain drill and the mountain shield. And the second form of the soaring shuttle can only be trained when its battle amplifier reaches 30. As for the third form of the soaring shuttle, it can only be trained when its battle amplifier reaches the universe level. Its battle amplifier reaches 48, and it has its own domain. Maybe the second form of the soaring shuttle is even more ridiculous. However, the first form is the mountain drill and mountain shield. Just the power of the first level is enough to satisfy Luo Feng. Holy! Lu He, who wasn't far away, froze. Great Lord Brahma, Amihan was also shocked. A counselor-level powerhouse was actually killed by a ray of golden light. Luo Feng's movements were too fast just now. He instantly transformed the soaring shuttle to attack. Even Lu He and Amuhan didn't see clearly what that golden light Luo Feng shot out was. They only saw Li Yao's seemingly powerful attack, before it even reached Luo Feng, was blown to smithereens. Head, Lu He hurriedly picked up. Head, Amuhan did the same. Both sides picked up. Lu He is Luo Feng, all right? Hurry and get him on the fighter jet. Let him calm down and don't be rash. As soon as the call connected, Hong immediately ordered. Head, Liao was killed by Luo Feng. Lu He gulped as he said. P.S. 3 chapters completed. I took a nap tonight, so I updated a bit late. The second chapter is past 11 p.m. Sweat. 3 chapters today, 3 chapters tomorrow. Everyone let Tomato go. He shouted one last time. October was coming to an end. Tomato called out to everyone's monthly votes. It was a crucial time to fight for the monthly votes.